Hello everyone, welcome back to another Tomato Sauce stream. Today we have quite the exciting day ahead of us as we're going to have another yapping stream with maybe some gameplay towards the end. But the big news is that we did get some new juicy leaks. More specifically, we got a bunch of skills leaked for Zuijo, we got one for Udius, a Roman, and Asana. So we got all of these different skills for all of these new decks, which is very exciting. We can kind of make some predictions about what we think is going to be the next box based on these leaks, which is always just a good time. So there is quite a lot to go over. I suppose we also want to touch on the Casey Cup that just finished as well. So we'll probably get that out of the way first and then go into the leaks. That's probably going to be the plan. But let's see who we have in the chat. We have Ninjetti Ursus in the chat. Welcome, welcome. We have Luis Fernando. A Psychic Fusion arrives. I told you! Well, it's still kind of up in the air as to what fusions we're going to get. And we'll talk about that a little bit more when we actually get into the leaks. But there are 3 major options and then like some other options which will probably come out as like lower rarity. But in terms of that like big premium UR monster, there are kind of 3 that it could be. We could potentially get all 3, but I think that would be a bit too much for a single box. So I think it's more likely we'll see 2 of them, or maybe just 1 of them, and then they'll give us the other one a little bit later down the line. But they've just made the skill kind of future-proof. We have, I guess we're not getting Traylon if worms are shifting towards fusions. I mean, there's still a chance, but probably not. Obviously, if they're trying to give us the kind of make a big board worm deck, then the maximum doesn't really fit into that. Leak Stream Hype. Morning, everyone. Hello, Koova. Welcome, welcome on in. I Can't Kill Anyone is also here. Morning, Mr. Tomato. Morning, chat. Good morning. We have Gunkin Susip Shari. The revolution starts now. Yeah, the ant cards are... It's a bit weird because we only had 3 of them shown off. And without their trap, the deck doesn't really do anything. So it might be one of those... Sort of like when we got the dinosaur cards and I guess the zombie cards, where it's not really a deck, but you can kind of try to pretend it's a deck. Without a skill and without all their cards, it's going to be very, very difficult to do anything with them, but we will talk about that when we get to it. Sakadetsu's in the chat first. Hello, everyone. Hope you have a great day. Well, I hope you have a great day, Sakadetsu. Excuse me, Tomato. What about the ants? I mean, the ants are cool. The ants aren't good. They would need a really broken skill for them to actually be good. I don't even know if they'll get their trap, just because we don't have good trap cards in Duel Links. So it's really difficult whenever it comes to ants, or whenever it comes to traps, to talk about anything that could potentially happen. Ants eat sugar and go home. I mean, yeah, that could be fine. Dwan's in the chat. Hello, hello, Dwan. Is that the Dr. Alex? Hello, Dr. Alex. What we cooking? Hello, Dragson. Yeah, we're not really cooking much. We're just going to be yapping. That's kind of the play today. Ants feel kind of late without a skill. I mean, a lot of things are still missing. That even if they came out now, like if they came out when they were supposed to, like going like chronologically from their release schedule in the OCG, then they would still be shit without a really good skill. So it's weird. It's very difficult. Because, like, we just don't have chairs. We don't have the outer space stuff and the dark pyros. We don't have the old cats. We don't have the clean beret Colonel Mop and the water warriors. There are so many more that I can't even think of off the top of my head that we just don't have. That if they came out now would do absolutely nothing. Oh, the fish stuff, like the early fish stuff with like the deep sea, whatever that field spells card. There are so many just bad archetypes in Rush, and it's like they could have gotten a skill to make them playable. Now when they come out, even with a good skill, I think it's too late. I think we've advanced too far, where the skill would actually have to be insanely broken, like something ridiculous, like a skill that gives you a +3 and lets your monsters have a permanent attack boost or something. Like, it'd have to be literally something insane. The ant skill gonna make them keep the attack boost until the end of the opponent's next turn. I think you literally need something like that for them to be relevant. Like, it would have to be on that level, but also do more, right? It's a bit silly. Also, welcome on in, Zaki boys. Is there some future support they could get, release it all at once? Like fish have fusions, they could just drop them all together. So the ants, not so much. There is entirely different insect cards that they're both insects, so they could be played together, but realistically, you just wouldn't play the ants in those decks. So, not really. Dark Pyro, no. There's no future support for Dark Pyro. Like chairs, no, not really. Like zero attack and dark is kind of the theme. There's not really a ton of that works together. Cats there is, but again, it's like you wouldn't play the old cats with the new cats. You just play the new cats on their own. Especially when we're down 10 cards from 40 card decks to 30 card decks. At 40 card decks, maybe you make an argument for you can play some of the old cats. With 30 card deck, there's not realistically going to be an argument for that. No skill, no trap, no problem. I mean, we did make dinosaurs and zombies kind of work. They did see some meta relevance. That wasn't a ton. They weren't, like, insane. They weren't, like, popping off or anything. But they did see some tournament tops. So that is something. Double the ants boosted stats. I mean, just released the other Revolution-themed cards that were OP. The thing is, you're saying OP. There's nothing that's OP, right? Even if you give them all of their cards, they still wouldn't be OP. They would just have one trap card that's actually kind of good compared to a lot of the other decks. But the rest of the deck would still suck, right? So it's just like... I can finally eat my breakfast. Hello, Sora, Mia, welcome. I'm sorry we will not have a video out today, but we will try... We'll record something later on today, and then we will try and get a video out tomorrow. That will be the plan. That will be the plan. The lack of zombie cards hurt. I really liked them when they dropped. So, zombies have always been in a weird spot, where zombies have never really been good in the sense of a full zombie deck. There's like zombie packages that are okay, right? So the big one's going to be Shadow Ghoul and Ghost Vicious. Just that 2-card combo is just really, really good. Basically, you get a, Shadow Ghoul, 1 tribute, gains attack based on the number of monsters in the graveyard. So it gains, it could easily hit like 25, 3,000, depending on how many cards you get in the graveyard. And then Ghost Vicious lets you make your Shadow Ghoul attack twice. And that on its own is not really a zombie deck, but that was kind of the most zombie deck you get, really. And that's seen play pretty much since that combo came out. We also did see a lot of play with the... Oh god, what's the maid card? There's like a zombie maid that was limited very quickly. I cannot remember what it's called. Necro Maid Nana? I think it's Necro Maid Nana. I have it. I physically own the card. It's in a pile next to me, but it's in Japanese, so that won't actually help me. I'm pretty sure it's Necro Maid Nana. And that card is kind of... You could play it in that deck as well. But like, the big one is always going to be the Lurker. Lurker's probably never coming to Duel Links. Lurker's a bit too good, and it breaks the game a little bit. Also, balls. Exactly. I got to go to ways. I'll leave my little brother in chat instead. Excellent. Well, we'll have fun talking to little Ray. I'm going to assume it's little Ray. Oh, Mr. Tomato, you don't know about the other Revolution cards, it seems. Imperial Order and Royal Decree are now extremely broken cards, although I know they won't be allowed in Rush. Well, if they're not in Rush, they don't exist. That's just how this works. I can't kill anyone. If they don't exist in Rush, they are nothing. It's little Ray. Hello, little 9 Ray. Hello, I'm the little brother. Hi, little Sora, bro. All right, let's jump over. Let's hop over. And we will probably go straight into this. This is what we want to do. We want to yap. We want to talk about actual stuff rather than just trying to recite things from memory. So first thing we want to do is take a look at the KC Cup. We'll get the speed stuff out of the way first, and then we can kind of dive into the rush stuff. I know most of the people that come to my stream specifically are here for the rush stuff, but we do like the speed. We're not very good at speed. We're not super invested into speed, but we do keep up to date with the speed tournaments. We do keep up to date with like what the top decks are and how the meta's looking. And going into this KC Cup, actually something insane happened. I had so many people tell me they love the meta. They just love it. Thank you for the follow. Well, how do we pronounce that? Ganino? Ganinino. We're going to go with that for now. But basically, my grasp on the meta is, right, of the speed meta. If you are a casual player / a ladder player, you hate this meta. That is generally my impression. Because you're sat there playing your, your rogue deck or your like semi-competitive deck, and you're playing against like Ghost Trick and Shadow and the birds and Predator Plants are super polying your stuff and turning off all your effects, and that feels terrible. If you're a tournament level player, if you're a player that realistically is going to be pushing for the like top 100, apparently everyone likes this meta. Apparently there's a lot of skill expression. There's a lot of like this deck counters this deck, but this deck beats this deck. It's not just like this is the best deck, although Predator Plants is kind of that. But overall, I feel like there's like this nice kind of triangle going on of like different decks beating different decks. So overall, I found the tournament level players quite happy. The ladder level players quite unhappy. Now, you could make an argument. KC Cup is a big ladder, so we should try and appeal to the ladder players. Realistically, it's the tournament level players, the players that are super invested, the players that are playing Team Wars, that are constantly like cogging, that are entering these tournaments and performing quite well, that are going to be performing at a high level in a KC Cup, and they seem reasonably happy. So that's, I'm quite happy about that. I think Bish Balkan is getting banned. I mean, fingers crossed, right? Bish is something I haven't heard about it a lot recently, but that might be because I'm not like super in the scene, right? Like I'm on the peripheral of the speed scene. I like to admire it from afar in the same way that, you can watch people play like competitive sports without actually playing them yourselves. That's kind of where I'm at with speed right now. I'll quite happily admire it from the sideline. I ended up with 2k away from top 100. I mean, that is still very impressive. 2k that's like 2 wins, right? So that's very, very close. It was the only really toxic thing in the meta. I mean, I think depending on who you ask, different people will say different things are toxic. I think a lot of people will say Ghost Trick's toxic, even though it kind of is. It kind of isn't. It's very subjective. Like, to a lot of people, just decks that have flip effects and stop damage and direct attack and all this other stuff. Like, everyone has their own like line in the sand that they draw for when something becomes toxic or not. So it's not easy, in my opinion, to work out exactly what everyone's going to agree is toxic. For me, I hate the birds. I despise the birds, but that's because the deck I play, which is Fluffles, doesn't really have a great way to deal with the birds. We can beat the birds. Realistically, we're not going to beat the birds as often as they're going to beat us. That's kind of how I look at it. And I think a lot of other people will look at it from the same perspective. Does X rogue deck beat the best decks? Okay, this deck hard counters my rogue deck. I don't like this deck. And a lot of decks aren't very good at dealing with face down cards, or at least a lot of rogue decks in my experience. I played Sue Ships. Oh, who would have thought that Gunkin Sue Ship Shari would have played Sue Ships? That is a shocker. The meta isn't awful, but is a bit rough without Droplet or Eclipse. I mean, that is also fair enough. Well, Droplet, Eclipse especially, is a bit of a weird one at the moment, right? Because there's so many, like, flip decks going around. So, like, I mean, it will still stop them. Because, like, if you flip down, like, a Winder or a Construct, obviously that's still going to be helpful. At least the top 500 set reward is also pretty. I mean, there's something. Bish Balkan wasn't really a thing in this KCC. You maybe face, like, 1 in every 100 duels. I mean, that's at least something, right? At least if it's, a deck that people weren't particularly happy with, at least we didn't have to be plagued by it. So we'll take that. We'll take that. The real deal is that freaking Hydra. The Hydra. The Hydra. I have no idea what the Hydra is. But we'll take a quick look at this. So we have KC Cup. We're not going to go into this too much. We'll just take a look at some of the top decks. So we have -1, who did end up winning. -1, obviously a very prominent member of the community, playing primarily the Predator Plants. Now, he did do a whole write-up on Twitter about the different decks that he played and how he did each day. But, like, Predator Plant, Hydra, the Kaiju. Ah, okay. The thing is, I know a lot of the Predator Plant cards, right? But for the most part, my experience playing the Predator Plants is playing them with the Pendulum monsters. So that's my, like, majority of my experience playing with these cards. The level 5. Which one is the level 5? Let's have a look. This one. The Predator Plant Drosophilum Hydra. Or Drosophilum? We'll go with that. I mean, Predator Plants are always going to be an annoying deck just because of the Predator counters, the way they can sacrifice your monsters, and Super Poly, right? There's always going to be all of these extra elements that are always going to make it a little bit frustrating. Is that Max Does Music? Welcome on in. Hello. 7 hand traps in a Duel Links deck. I mean, we're in the future now, baby. Just you wait till we get even more hand traps. I mean, if you look, like, the decks did, like, evolve, right? This one was playing more hand traps, I assume, based on the meta. This one then obviously plays less. This one had MSTs in it. I assume it was, like, changing based on the decks that it was playing against. Doing banlist predictions? I don't know if we're qualified to do banlist predictions, if I'm honest. I could tell you my wish list. That's probably the best you're going to get. I don't think I know enough about the meta overall to really give an opinion on banlist predictions. But I would like to see the birds killed. Like, straight up, take them out back and shoot them in the head. That is what I would like to see. I literally think you do something along the lines of Nightingale and Ensemble Robin to 1 each. So you literally say, one or the other, mate. Pick one. Deal with it. Right? That is the severity of what I would like to see done to birds. Predator Plants is a weird one. Alright, chat. Do we think it is too early to hit Predator Plants? And I don't mean health of the game-wise. I mean, generally, Konami don't hit decks this early after they've come out. So I could see them hitting, you know, the peripheral cards, the cards around the Predator Plant cards, but not wanting to actually hit the Predator Plant cards themselves. Hit the Hydra or the skill. Well, that's what I mean. Is it too early? Like, everyone was crying out for Konami to hit Lyrilusk for the longest time after the last KC Cup, and they got nothing. Like, they didn't even touch Lyrilusk. And everyone was like, Konami, for the love of God, get this deck out of here. We're sick of this shit. And untouched. So I'm thinking maybe Predator Plants gets off with the same, like, bullshit. Birds have been an issue because of Nightingale in general, and Nightingale is splashed into Predator Plant. There we go, hit it. Just ban it. Ban it straight out. Hit the Hydra of the skill. The one I would hit for Predator Plant is Hydra Limit 1, and we are good. It never too early. But Dragson, I'm not saying, like, for the health of the game, yeah, they should be hit. I'm saying, do we think Konami will hit them based on the fact that it's too early, right? They won't hit them directly, in my opinion. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I would like them to hit Predator Plants. I don't think they're going to hit Predator Plants. That's kind of how I look at it. At least not... They're not going to directly say this Predator Plant card gets hit. That's how I look at it. Agents got nuked right away. I can't remember how right away it was. I remember playing against the Agent deck and being like, this is actual bullshit. But I think it's now back to full power. I think they, like, reverted some of the nerfs they did to it recently-ish. I'm trying to remember now. Agents got released after release. What I don't understand is, if they're quite happy to hit a deck so quickly after release, why didn't they hit Lyrilusk? Now, you could make the argument that Lyrilusk has been power crept a little bit, but it's still arguably one of the best decks. Like, even on our tier list right now, I believe it's still tier 1, right? Now, they will hit some cards, but not the skill. I think the issue with Bish Balkan isn't that it's something that you'll always face or whenever. More likely when you bring out the purpose of 1 card floodgates to your opponent out of playing. I mean, yeah, it's clearly an issue. The issue that we have is, though, Konami tend to hit cards based on usage rate and based on win rate. So if Bish Balkan isn't being used, it will probably slip under the radar. And I think that's the issue everyone's a bit worried about. I don't know, but I hope so. Thank God, Borrowlink did not get hit. I mean, it's not even... Like, it keeps slipping down the tier list, right? Is it even still on the tier list? I can't remember now. They haven't released my Roland for Infernobles yet, I mean, Infernoble did quite well, right? I think JVZ got top 100. I think it was like 60-ish with Infernobles. So, you know, he's doing all right. I'm still waiting for Salamangreat Gazelle to be freed, since salads deserve a buff. Well, Max, you were waiting for Predator Plants for the longest time, so you've got the first thing you wanted. So really now we're just doing the countdown until Gazelle is released. Nobody would miss Bish. It's never been used for anything fun/interesting. But the anime players, the people that watched 5Ds would be sad. Hitting Boral would be like shooting Grandma in the hospital bed. I mean, basically. I was, but I hate the current state of Predator Plants and Duel Links. Oh, that's a shame. I know, like I say, I know a lot of competitive players that are like regularly topping or winning tournaments, and they are quite happy with the meta as it is right now. So for them, it's probably like, you know, some things need a little bit of pruning, touch it up a little bit, but if we mess with it too much, we'll mess up a good thing. So it's a weird one. I think we just get rid of the toxic shit, and we, you know, trim the top decks down a little bit, and then everything kind of evens out, and I think that's kind of where you want things to be. But I feel like we're probably going to go at it with a chainsaw, because that seems to be the Konami way. They either get out, like, the scissors, and they're just, like, chipping away at, like, a giant bush, or they get out the chainsaw, and they go absolutely nuts at it, right? There's, like, nothing in between. Infonoble never got hit because they caught back-to-back strays. I mean... yeah, I mean, collateral is always going to be a thing. The whole Hydra Tribute strategy is just so stale, and plus, a lot of people currently play the deck, so I'm not touching it until the deck gets power crept. I mean, that's probably going to be a while. To be honest, I was looking forward to Lyrilisk, but I don't like playing too meta. Yeah, that seems to be everyone's sort of perspective, is I want my rogue deck to come out, but if my rogue deck is meta, I don't want to play it. Which is, yeah, that's fair enough. But it's just something I've noticed, like, a lot. So we've got, like, more Predator Plants here. We've got some Ghost Tricks from Sophion. Ghost Tricks, like, I kind of like Ghost Tricks. What I don't like is this bullshit. Necro Valley and Summon Breaker. Get these cards out of here. Why are these cards still not banned? Now, Necro Valley is a frustrating card because it's part of the Gravekeeper archetype. If you hit this, you hit the Gravekeeper decks. But, is there a Gravekeeper deck that isn't just Floodgate Turbo? Like, every Gravekeeper deck I feel like these days is like, stop your opponent from playing the game, the deck. So I'm just like, just get it out of it. Just get it out of it. Like, all the toxic shit like that, that's the stuff I want to see gone. More Predator Plants, more Predator Plants. Maybe get some birds. You know? Birds. Also, Galatea is here. Why is Galatea here? Is this just like we had just had a space, so we were like, screw it, Galatea can come in? We got Sky Strikers. And Shadows. Another two relatively good decks. We've got Shiranui. And we have the... got what these called? Star Seraphs. That's the one. You know, there's some decks there. One thing I did find as well was this lovely spreadsheet where someone is basically going around and collecting everyone's top decks, trying to get evidence of where it was, and then basically try and fill this out. So there are currently 7 unknown decks in this spreadsheet, right? So out of the top 100, assuming all this information is accurate, there are only 7 unknowns. So we can see there are like 34 Predator Plants, 18 Lyrilusk, 10 is Star Seraph, Fleur, and Ghost Trick. And then it, you know, drops off quite a bit. Shadow's down at 5. SSA, what is SSA? Sky Strikers? Maybe? I'm trying to work out what SSA is. Yeah, Shiranui's there, Dark Fluid. And then the old one-ofs, which are like, you know, pretty interesting. What's the A from Sky Striker though? Yeah, that unironically, Shari, that is my first. Like, I see SSA, I go Sea Stealth Attack because I played through Sea Stealth Attack meta, so like, I'm like getting the Vietnam flashbacks back to that. Tier 3-ish or so. Summon Breaker is more toxic. I mean, you're not wrong, but I think it's easier to hit Summon Breaker because it's not part of any like archetype. Right, whereas I think it's harder to hit Necro Valley because people can make an argument it is part of an archetype. Yeah, basically I play Gravekeeper and Master Duel to cuck the Snake Eyes. I mean, that's very funny. I still don't want to play against you. Shiranui, please hit Samsara to 1. Sky Striker, put Kagari to 1. That's my wish list for this ban list. I feel like they're going under the radar too much, though. Sky Striker Ace. Ah, right. Why not just write SS, though? Like, just Sky Strikers. Everyone knows what's... Unless SS is like something else, like Sea Serpents or something. I don't know if there is another SS deck. 7 unknown, probably Fluffle Orcust. Oh, I don't think so. I actually know. Well, it is Fleur, so it's probably just mixed in with Fleur. I was going to say, we know Infonoble's one of them, but Infonoble is just Fleur, so it's probably just under Fleur. Yeah, Fleur skill 100% needs a nerf. Fleur is absolutely atrocious skill. I mean, that's fair enough. I know a lot of people don't mind it, and a lot of people are like, let it stay, because it's, like, not absolutely broken, but it's kind of like the old Boral Link, where it's kind of outstaying its welcome. It's like, Fleur, you've been around for a long time now. Maybe it's time. All I saw on my climb, they need to hit that deck. Nah, what are you talking about? No. We need to free the Orcus cards. Remember, guys? Free Orcus. Yeah, free Orcus. Remove the free Necroflare turn 2 and lock the extra deck to Synchro and Fusions. I mean, that's very reasonable. The deck we fixed, I'll let it stay. I just hate when it's finally splashed into so many archetypes with the same skill, same boring strat. I mean, that's fair enough. Should at least play the monsters from it face down. Only for change the summons from the deck to set monsters that can be flipped. Is that Grand Harrier in the chat? Welcome, welcome. We were just taking a look at the KC Cup results. So as you can see, quite a lot of interesting decks. Even Royal Rebels, guys. Royal Rebels made their way to top 100 in the KC Cup. I think nobody expected that. So, you know, huge congratulations to the Royal Rebel players. But, you know, all jokes aside, it's pretty interesting that a Raid Raptor did make top 100, right? I mean, I think that's pretty cool. Like, whenever it's like a one deck, I'm like, you know, Odd Eye Synchro. Congratulations, bro. You made it. No one else did what you did. Mayakashi, just the one of. Good job, you know. Nobody at all. It's one of those... I see... Part of me is like, Predaplant being over a third of these decks is a big issue. And part of me is also like, well, there's going to be a best deck either way, right? So it's just like, is it a huge deal? It's more like what Predaplant does that's a problem, rather than like Predaplant's win rate, in my opinion. Zenzo is the GOAT. Oh, is Zenzo one of these one players? Let's do a Control F. Is this Zenzo? It is. So can we go here and see what this brings up? So this was Zenzo's deck. Playing the Mayakashi. Mayakashi has always been such a weird deck for me, because I both like really like this deck and also don't like playing against it whatsoever. But I think that's because it was back when Mayakashi was one of the best decks and when I played through that format. So it's kind of like lingering on me. This song, I really need to take this song off my playlist. Let's just get through that one. There we go, Sonic the Hedgehog, that's better. I'm glad this KC Cup was Floodgate Blue Eyes like the last one I played. See, now interestingly, there are no Floodgate Blue Eyes that made top 100, so I'm guessing that was only down at the lower ranks at the very least, so at least we got that going. And I think that's basically it for speed. We took a look at the decks. Again, like if we were to do like my ban list wish list, we hit the Floodgates, we hit Birds. Are we going to hit Predaplant? I don't know. Maybe we're going to hit Predaplant. Is it too early? Agents were hit early. Maybe it would be fine. Star Seraph was the Floodgate deck this time around. Ah, that's a shame. Can we have a look at a Star Seraph deck? Here we go. Let's take a look at this one. Let's see what this... Ah, boo. Well, we're not looking at that one. There's another Star Seraph list in here. That one doesn't have a link. The Star Seraph players seem to be quite shy, is what I'm learning here. Star Seraph, Star Seraph. Alright, let's go here. Let's check this out. Is this going to have the Star Seraph? Well, this is also completely not helpful. I just want to see a Star Seraph list at the top. Here we go. Is this actually once again not showing the list? Bruh. Why is it so hard to find a Star Seraph list at the top? Tenzin! Tenzin, you will be our Lord and Savior. Here we go. Here we go. So let's take a quick look. So, what is the Floodgates here? Obviously, Dweller. Does this count as a Floodgate? Seems he didn't run it. I mean, it might have been in all the other decks. We only found the one. I don't remember what the cup was. But Blue Eyes were running Heat Wave and Summon Breaker. Oh, Christ. Heat Wave is so just frustrating, in my opinion. I think September KC Cup had a better deck breakdown than this one. I mean, it's on here as well, right? We can take a look at the September one. We had, what, 20 Star Seraph, 16 Lyrilusk and Fleur, 15 Sea Stealth Attack, or Sky Striker Ace. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot more well-distributed, that's for sure. There's a lot more kind of like one-offs that made it through here, compared to here. But this is definitely very Predaplant kind of focused. Like, Predaplants definitely were overall dominant, and then Lyrilusk, it's like a three-way tie after that. Which I think this does kind of represent the list, right? If we go to the tier list. Like, Lyrilusk, Predaplant, Fleur, and Shadow, and then Ghost Trick was knocked down a bit, and Sky Striker as well. But if we go over here, obviously, you know, tournament meta versus ladder meta aren't going to be one-to-one, but we are seeing the two tier 1 decks definitely stand out. Then, where was Star Seraph on this list? Bearing in mind this list is a little bit outdated, right? Star Seraph was not on here at all. I think it was in the, like, when they posted the thing, I think it was like, maybe this will be okay. But it's interesting. It is very interesting. 1/3 Predator. Yep, 1/3 Predator. Ghost Trick's also ran some Floodgates. I mean, Ghost Trick is like, it's Floodgate adjacent, right? There's like sort of Floodgates. And then you run just like Necro Valley and Summon Limit, or it's called Limit Breaker. Summon Limit? Summon Breaker? Whatever that card's called. I don't like those field spell Floodgates personally. I would quite like those to go away. But I think the rest of the deck's pretty cool. Preds also suit the format by winning and losing quite fast. I mean, that's another, like, aspect of a KC Cup or a GRF, right? Like, we're going to have more cards before the GRF that's coming up. But when it does, I feel like Light Galaxy might be the pick, just because it wins or loses very, very quickly. So, it might just be the runaway deck, just because, again, it suits the format very well. And it has quite a good matchup. It's not like a super favorable matchup, but it's like a 52 to 55% win rate sort of against Metarian. Like, at the highest competitive levels. But again, the deck can just fall apart very easily, so it's like, ugh. Rolling around at the speed of sound, exactly. But, I think it's time. That's all of our speed stuff. So let us get into the rush stuff, because, well, I say that, we have some speed leaks to go over, I guess. So we'll go over the speed leaks first, because I do actually quite like these decks. We have the Hieratic skill. This is going to be an interesting one. You can use this skill's second effect once per turn, and the third effect once per duel. So you cannot normal or special summon monsters except hieratic monsters or level/rank 5 or higher dragons. So this is quite a big restriction. From extra deck or main deck, we can only summon hieratics, which is pretty interesting. Obviously, and level 5 or higher dragons, but that's quite a heavy restriction. Then we can reveal Convocation or Seal of Creation in your hand, return one card from your hand to the deck, and then add a hieratic spell trap from your deck to your hand. So this is an interesting one as well, because there aren't, like, the spells. These are two of, like, the only spells for this archetype. I think the only other one is, like, special summon a hieratic from your hand. So you're basically going to be most of the time searching a trap card with this, I would think. A Cyber Dragon could do well too. Yes, definitely could do. But Metarian is always going to be the boogeyman, right? And I think as long as Metarian still has gun combo, they can punish Cyber Dragon players so hard, it's going to be awkward for them. Sidra is kind of ass, not going to lie. Infinity dies to Hydra. I think we were talking about Rush Sidra there, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, Royal Rebels. Raid Raptors seems to be the Cyber Dragon deck that's performing well at the moment. Cyber Dragon Balls deck. So if we control, right? So what are we talking about? We're talking about the traps. So the traps for hieratic though are actually kind of good. They have an Omni negate, but it needs you to sacrifice a hieratic. Hieratic shouldn't have that big of a deal, just ending with like spare bodies. So getting Omnis is kind of nice. If you control a monster in an extra monster zone, or your opponent controls a monster on the field, you can send one card from your hand or field to the graveyard, then set a hieratic spell trap from your deck to your field. So obviously the bad part of this is that you have to give up a card. Right, if we didn't have to give up a card, this would be a free plus. It's not a free plus. And then this isn't a plus either, so none of these skills plus. But basically, they both give you access to Omni Negates, but they're expensive Omni Negates. And since you're not plussing, you're not, like, reimbursed for those costs. So I don't know how good this deck's actually going to be on paper, but it could be kind of nice. Yellow button, Kaiju, delete monster, smile. Exactly. Exactly. This just seems like a meme. I don't know if anyone in chat has any opinion on this. This, to me, seems like a joke skill. This is like an anime, like, if you want to just do this cute little thing. I don't think this skill will see play, but can be used before your normal draw if your opponent controls a face-up monster 2500 or more attack. One of the cards for your normal draw will be... One of the cards for your normal draw, that's some rush text right there, will be Kaiyuro Gegetsu. Isn't the hieratic link decent? I mean, let's take a look. Let's go and have a quick gander, shall we? Hieratic. I don't think I've seen their link, you know. Oh, you're talking about Heavenly Spheres? Yeah, Spheres is great, but Spheres is like... You know, this is just a good card. It's just like Dragon Link more than Hieratic card, almost. I forget this is a Hieratic card, because I'm like, no, this is the Dragon Link card. Is Arc coming to Duel Links confirmed? I mean, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. This seems like a meme to me. I don't think there's gonna be anything here. And then there's Dragoonity. This skill's second effect can be used once per duel. During the duel, you cannot normal summon monsters except Dragoonity monsters, or Winged Beast and Dragons with 2400 or less defense. So that's an interesting one. Dragoonity is a weird deck. I feel like Dragoonity has always been like rogue-ish. I don't know. I feel like Dragoonity is like almost there. Like it's almost a good deck, because like some of its bosses are actually kind of scary. Reveal Dragon Ravine or Dragoonity Whirlwind in your hand and return one card in your hand to your deck. Then you can either add to your hand or send to the graveyard a Dragoonity monster or a Dragoonity equip spell. Now there's only one Dragoonity equip spell, so that's an interesting one. But we can send a Dragoonity monster to the graveyard. That's probably what we're going to do most of the time, I would think. But the issue is we can only do this once per duel. So once per duel we can do this. And we have to have one of these two cards in our hand. But I don't know. I think Dragoonity is like... Like, getting out the Dragoonity bosses doesn't seem... God, how do you spell Dragoonity? Dragoonity. There we go. It's like, Ascalon's pretty good, right? Banish one of your opponent's monsters. If this synchro card would be destroyed, you can special summon a Dragoonity synchro monster so it floats. Seems fine. I think, don't they have a negate somewhere? I'm sure one of their bosses had a negate built in, didn't they? Double its attack. Maybe they don't. Maybe I'm misremembering. Good old Gay Bulge. Is it this one? Quick effect, you can banish them if you're good. They get the activation. Yeah, this it's not out yet, but if they do get this guy, could be pretty good. Could be pretty good. I'm just saying. Just saying. I might actually try Dragoonity. I like equip archetypes. I mean, that's fair enough. Obviously, you know, if you're coming from Inflernoble, it's going to be right up your alley. And then there's Romulus, who, you know, as we slowly creep towards Dragon Link, you know, maybe Romulus comes out as well. But that's it for the speed. So now, going on to Rush. Going on to Rush, Zuijo skills. Oh, is everyone ready? Is everyone ready for everyone's favorite 7-foot tall alien general Zuijo? So requirement. Activate at the beginning of the duel. Add ace card to your deck. Whoa, crazy. Anyway, we don't have to care about skill 1. Skill 2. So this is probably the best one. I guess... no, we'll start here. We'll start here. So this skill can be used if all of the monsters in your constructed deck are Dark Galaxy. So your extra deck doesn't have to have just Dark Galaxy. That's irrelevant, though, because what are you going to make using Dark Galaxy that isn't another Dark Galaxy? From turn 2 onwards, choose a face-up normal monster on your field. This turn, that monster inflicts piercing damage. Okay, instantly getting piercing. That's quite good. Then, send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. You can add one monster with 1600 or more attack from these cards sent to the graveyard to your hand. So, you might look at this, and you might be like, okay, we can give... We just get a big guy out. We just get a big normal monster. Because it has to be a normal monster. we just get a big normal monster as piercing. If we get out like a 2500 normal attack monster, we can give it piercing. That's great. But we can only play Dark Galaxy monsters. So we can only play normal Dark Galaxy monsters to get this effect. Now, there is an issue. That is, there is no high attack normal Dark Galaxy monster. The biggest one is Pale Rider. And just to be sure, I did check this. I didn't just, because the Duel Links meta database can be not like fully up to date. We did go and check. There is nothing bigger than Pale Rider. Which means what this skill does is it gives like a 1500 attacker or a 1600 attacker piercing. Now, where have we seen this before? We've seen this in the Spellcaster Fusion deck, which has a big problem, which is 1600 piercer is not enough to close out games against any sort of realistically good meta deck. Chances are you're going to get in, you know, if you're, let's say you're against Metarium, right? You're going to attack a 500 defense monster, you're getting for 1100. Okay, that's nice. You've put your opponent on a 6-turn clock. 6-turn clock, mate. 6 turns is insane. If we're not hitting exactly 0 defense monsters, this is just too slow. Unfortunately, it just is. Like, you have to now catch your opponent off guard with them leaving something like small in face-up attack position. Now, you could maybe get away with like saying, oh, well, if we combine Meteor Charge with this, but Meteor Charge would be unsearchable, so like, it's kind of a bit all over the place. But let's catch up with the chat again. My 3 ravines can be used now. Oh yeah, Chaos Femtron at home. I mean, kind of. I thought everyone in Rush Duels was short. So, a lot of them are, but Zuijo and a lot of the alien characters are quite tall, because they're aliens, right? Zuijo's like literally 7 foot tall, and I think Udius is like 6'4" or something. Like, he's also very tall. 7-star road levels of piercing. I mean, basically, yes. Oh, there is no Dark Galaxy Secret Order target. There is not. So, this is what I mean. This is probably the best skill. Now, to be fair, we can also do this. So the second part of this skill is not bad. We can add a monster with 1600 or more attack out of these cards sent to the graveyard to our hand. So if we want a low-level monster, it has to be Void Velger, Pale Rider. So we can add exactly this back to our hand. But this second part can be on effect monsters. So we could get back Requiem. We could get back a boss monster. So this is not too bad, right? We do get a +1. We do get bad piercing, but piercing is still piercing, right? Realistically, this is going to be the best skill. I don't think Dark Galaxy is going to be very good. I would like to be proven wrong. But at face value, without seeing any of the cards we're actually getting, this seems kind of bad. We already had this song today. No, I don't think we have. Unless we start with it. It doesn't matter. So, yeah, this leaves me underwhelmed, if I'm honest. It's an okay skill. The fact it's limited to normal monsters makes it sort of a bit mid. So then we're going to skill 3. During the turn, you have normal summoned Void Velger Requiem. 1 face-up monster on your opponent's field becomes light attribute till the end of this turn. Now, there aren't many ways that we can interact with light monsters. Requiem is the best one, probably. The other one is... God, I can't remember what it's called, but it destroys a level 6 or lower light monster. So, like, maybe you pop, like, a weak guy? I don't know. It just doesn't seem very good. Unfortunately, I don't see this doing anything. There's not really much more to say about it. Then we'll go to skill 4. So this skill can be used if your deck contains 5 or more level 7 or higher monsters. Before your normal draw, if there is no face-up level 7 or higher monster on the field, once per duel, one of the cards for your normal draw will be Void Velger Requiem. So this is, again, just kind of pointless. It's just get Requiem to your hand. Requiem aggro kappa? I mean, possibly. I'm so bored about Metarian, I want to play Dark Galaxy. I mean, I hope Dark Galaxy ends up being good. Based on all the evidence, I don't think that's going to be the case. Realistically, they needed a really broken skill to make them relevant. And we don't have that. So, unless they give us the fusions, or they do something else really wacky, I really can't think of a way they could make Dark Galaxy, like, super relevant, to be honest. So skill 5, if there is a face-up, Void Velga Elysium. So this is kind of cool, because this basically confirms we're getting Elysium, right? So this card is 2500 attack, level 8, 2500 good, level 8 good. Send one card from your hand to the graveyard. Oh, that's bad. We don't really want to be discarding a card. Change one face-up monster to your opponent's field to face-down defense position. This card gains 500 attack to the end of this turn. So this... I mean, does this matter? Boost it up to 3000 and change something to defense? Like, you can beat Cyber End with this. Like, this still can't beat Ancient Gear Golem. This can just attack over everything else while it's in attack mode. So you don't need to, like, change something face-down defense specifically. It's just like an extra bonus thing. Then if you sent a monster to the graveyard to meet this effect's requirement, cannot be destroyed by trap cards. Right now, that's not relevant. That's literally Widespread Ruin. So, kind of whatever. No, please don't turn my Metarian Sidra Light Galaxy monsters into light. No! Skill 4's requirement is more flexible compared to the others. I like it, I think. The thing is, like, this skill doesn't actually do anything is the problem. It's like you just get Void Veldra Requiem to your hand. And it's not even as a plus. It's just one of your normal draws. So I just think it's kind of crap. Like, I don't know why you would want to play Dark Galaxy cards in your deck. And then, like... Because what we're saying is, we're not restricted to using just Dark Galaxy. It's like, okay, but if I'm not restricted to using Dark Galaxy, why would I bother playing any Dark Galaxy? Because without a good skill, they're kind of whatever. Worm Fusion. We'll get there. We'll get there. Heavy Stomps Dark Galaxy is going to be terrible. At least at release, at launch, with the first wave, the debut of Dark Galaxy, kind of seems like it's going to be bad. But we did expect this. We didn't expect Dark Galaxy to be good. When they get their fusions, that's when they get good. Until they get their fusions, the deck was always a bit mid. So, compared to skills like Legendary, I mean, but it's not good yet. I mean, fair enough, fair enough. Deck needs a skill better. I mean, yeah. So yeah, anyway, the skill, you know, if your opponent has a face-down monster and you have Elysium, draw a card. So it basically gets you back the cost that you did for Elysium. Now, you could make the argument, if your opponent just sets monsters, you just summon out Elysium, you don't even bother using Elysium's effect. It's a free draw. That, unironically, might be one of the better ways to play this deck. You just play an okay guy, play him as a vanilla most of the time, and then just get a free draw. That might be the better way to play Galaxy, which is very weird to say. You know, you basically change your Void Veldra Elysium's effect to be like, you now draw one card. You turn him into the bird from the selection box. Giving Light Galaxy an absolute cracked skill that makes them the second best deck in the game, and giving Dark Galaxy just trash. The thing is, the Light Galaxy skill is only so good because of Secret Order, right? And Secret Order isn't even a Galaxy card, it's generic. So, like, if you take away Secret Order, like, what is Light Galaxy? It's not even a deck. It's a nothing deck. And in the same way, this deck doesn't have Secret Order, so it's bad, right? It's a really weird place that the game's in. But we'll go on to the other skills now. Have we talked about them yet? Void Veldra Requiem, I don't think there's really much we need to talk about these. We already talked about both of these, really. So I don't think we need to, like, go too much more in depth with those. Alright. Archive skill 1. Requirement, none. In fact, we probably just get rid of these altogether. We don't need them. So these two archive skills, I don't get it. If anyone has anything to add on these skills, please let me know. If you see a reason for them to exist, feel free to tell me. But return a dark normal monster from your graveyard to the deck. You can't do this next turn. So it's like recycling / anti-deck out. But like, it's only with normal monsters. It's only of a specific type. I don't know. I can't think of a reason why I'd want to use these over anything else. Like, maybe, if your other option is like life point gain, right? This deck is going a crab. A creb? I mean, who knows? And then we have the same thing for Earth. Now, this might end up being for all types, but right now we have Earth and Dark. It's like... So, now we'll get to the juicy stuff, right? Asana skill. This skill can be used if all of the monsters in your constructed deck are earthworms. Now, this is actually quite important because there are a few non-earth worms. There's a bunch of fire worms that are from Go Rush, so we're probably not getting any of them. I mean, that's kind of expected anyway. But there are a couple of other non-earth worms. We'll talk about them in a little bit. But from turn 2 onwards, during the turn you normal summoned a normal monster, add fusion from your deck or graveyard to your hands. So the requirement is that we have to summon a normal monster. Now that's fine because we're going to be summoning Pylon if we want to do a fusion anyway, right? So that's okay, right? Multi-choice effect. We've already kind of read this, but yeah. We can add fusion from our deck or graveyard. That is amazing. This is like one of the good fusion skills because it's a free plus. And we can add from deck or graveyard and it goes to our hand. That is so good for so many reasons. That means we only have to play one copy of fusion. We'll have infinite access to it. 2, because it goes to our hand, we can now smokescreen set. So one of the issues with the warrior fusion deck is that it sets it straight to the field. And that is an issue because you can't smokescreen with it. What do we mean by that? If we have like an empty back row and we add fusion to our hand and then we set 3 cards, your opponent now knows there is probably a fusion back there but doesn't know which one. So now when they use back row hate, they might miss your trap card and hit your fusion, which is pretty good, right? Now, did I come in at a good time? I mean, we're basically getting deep into the rush stuff, Baj, so you kind of joined at a good time. Earthworm Gym. So it's good. This is already a good skill, right? And then the other part is send 1 card from my hand to the graveyard. Okay, that's slightly worse, right? This doesn't plus us. But then we can add Build Dragon once per duel, or Peaks of Blastopia from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Now, this is very specifically for one of the fusions, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, let's talk about some of the cards that we potentially could see used with this. Basically, can't bluff them with the Warrior one. Yeah, exactly. So, this is the first Worm Fusion. This one is probably going to come out just because this will be like an R. Like, this doesn't need to be a super or anything. This is just like a spare, right? This is the Worm Fusion no one gives a shit about, so why not release it, right? So it's made using Coil Dragon of Fertility and Coil Dragon of Destruction. We can shuffle a Worm-type monster from our graveyard into the deck to send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. Then if we sent a spell card to the graveyard, we can add up to 2 field spells from our graveyard to our hand. So this does actually kind of work with the strategy of wanting to have lots of field spells to get lots of activations of your other fusion monster, which we'll be getting to that. Is the Hieratic skill extra deck locked? Yes. We can double check. We can go back and have a look. Normal or special summon monsters. So, you know, you're not locked into having them in your extra deck, but you can't special summon them, which means kind of, basically, yeah. So this is, you know, 2300 attacks, kind of weak. Most of the time you probably wouldn't make this, but it exists, right? So its fusion materials are Coil Dragon of Desolation, very weak. Shuffle a face-up field spell from your field into the deck, inflict 600 damage. It's whatever, right? Maybe wrong Dragoonity and Hieratic. So then we have Coil Dragon of Fertility, another quite poorly statted guy. Shuffle a field spell card from your graveyard into the deck, inflict 600 damage. So these are just a couple burn cards. They fuse into this. It's kind of whatever, right? But it's fine. Now, this is the second worm that we might get. This is Constructor Ridge Worm Hand Toolon. So this is made using Shovelon, which is a 1500 vanilla, and Piccolon, which is like the 0 attack. I think it's got 500 attack, 0 defense, if I remember correctly. It's a weak little vanilla, right? 2500 attack is actually decent, and it's level 7. So level 7... yeah, that's fine. It's made using 2 weak monsters. It's not a Matarian, so it doesn't get to cheat. We can send the top card of our deck to the graveyard. This card gains 200 attack. Okay, 200 attack, that's a bit crap, but it does put up to 27. 27 lets you beat over 25s. It still can't contest, like, any fusion. It can't contest any Matarian. So, But then if there is a face-up field spell card not on your field, you can add a Peaks of Blastopia or Silver Mountain of Blastopia from your graveyard to your hand. So basically we get to take a field spell back to our hand, which again, the whole deck is building up to working with the other fusion. So, let's talk about the other fusion. Now this, I would say, is almost guaranteed, just because The skill lets you infinitely recycle Peaks of Blistopia. That tells me we want to be infinitely recycling it because we're going to be sending it to the graveyard quite a lot. So this is Infinite Constructor Worm Build Dream. So level 9, 3000 attack, quite nice. Constructor Worm Build Dragon, so our, primary boss monster of Asana isn't the maximum, it's the 2500, that if we have a field spell, we can bring back a normal worm from the graveyard. Constructor Princess Pylon, once again, it's our weak vanilla. Send one card from your field zone to the graveyard. Destroy 2 monsters on the opponent's field. Face up, face down, doesn't care if they're maximums, doesn't care if they're fusions, doesn't care about their level, just destroyed. This could be big. Now, the downside is we have to get this out, which is still not super easy. To be fair, though, if we've used our skill, we can have already added the fusion from a previous turn, right? Now, the downside is we can use Build Dragon's effect to get Pylon from the graveyard. That's all fine and dandy. So we get out Build Dragon, we bring back Pylon. If we already have fusion, we're good to go, right? The downside is that this skill, or at least the first part of the skill, or I guess all of the skill, but for the most part, the searching fusion part, which is what we want to do here, is only when we have normal summoned a normal monster. So if we special summon Pylon off of the Build Dragon, we can't get the search of fusion, so it's a little bit awkward. But the skill is still like, this one's still a plus, this one isn't, the boss itself is a plus, so like, it's not too difficult, but it's obviously not as easy as getting out a Matarian guy, right? It actually cares about maximums. The 2 monsters is mandatory. Maximums count as 1 monster. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's not often it comes up. And it has to be opponent's field. Yep, you are absolutely correct, Ray. You are absolutely correct. So this will not kill maximums. I mean, in my experience of playing this, I never played against maxes much. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It has to be opponent's field. It has to be exactly 2. Looks like Celestial Warriors version 2.0. I mean, kind of. If you kind of squint at it. But it's good. This is still good, right? Maximum decks aren't super relevant right now, so that shouldn't actually matter too much. But beyond that, this is still good, right? I think, again, based on how the skill is worded, this is almost guaranteed. This is like 99.9% coming out soon. And it's a really cool boss monster still. But it still doesn't actually get us to the state of worms where we want them to be, right? So this is what we want. This is what we've really been waiting for. This is Constructor Skyworm Gantry Dragon. So if we have a face-up field spell on the field, special summon Constructor Worm Build Dragon from your graveyard. This turn you can only attack with worms. So this is what we want, because if we, for example, had this boss monster as well, we could go summon Constructor Worm Gantry Dragon, use its effect, bring back Build Dragon, use Build Dragon's effect, bring back Pylon, use Fusion, make a Constructor Worm Build Dream, bam, we have a Gantry and a Build Dream. Or, if we just don't have the Fusion, we could still just make Gantry, bring back Build Dragon, and then off of Build Dragon, we could bring back this guy who we also are still waiting for, Constructor Demolisher Worm Drake Crush. And this is a pretty big board, because we'll have our field spell out, giving all our guys extra 400 attack. We'd have a 29, a 29, and a 28. Now, the downside with this little combo, although we've made a huge board, is we don't have any piercing, we don't have any multi-attack, right? So we'd have to use one of our other skills, for example. What's the 0.1%? I mean, that's the chance that we don't get it. But, like, this is what I want. I'm still waiting for this. I want Gantry Dragon. I want Drake Crush. Because if you could also just build a board of these guys, like, sure, their defense will get lowered because we'll have the field spell, but we don't really have super low defense, which means we won't get bullied by, like, Light Galaxy. So if we're able to have a deck that just makes a big board of guys, I think we're just going to win the grind game against Light Galaxy. And that's kind of what I'm looking for right now. So that's why I kind of want this. And we've had this guy on, like, sleeves and a game mat for ages. I think it would be an okay time to release it, but I don't know if they want to give us quite so many worm cards all at once. I hope we get Worm Gantry Dragon, but who knows. There's also Phantasm Spiral Dragon. So this guy is a legend, and realistically could probably come out. We have Gear Golem, right? We have Ancient Gear Golem. this is worse Ancient Gear Golem. The plus side of this card is it can be summoned off of Build Dragon, which is quite nice. The downside is it is a water monster, which means we cannot use it if we're using the new skill because the skill locks us into only earth monsters. But it's an okay guy, right? 2900, which means it becomes 33 with our field spell. Chances are we're probably not going to get it, but we could get it. Then there's Constructor Sentry Dragline. I don't think we're going to get these. And so the reason is, I think we're going to be leaning away. We could get Dragline. We could realistically get Dragline. But anyway, let's talk about it, right? 1000 attack, 1300 defense, really good stats. Especially right now where you're looking to have decent attack and decent defense. Basically to play around like Galaxy. Shuffle 3 worm-type monsters from your graveyard into the deck. Special summon a level 8 worm-type monster from your graveyard face up to your field. So this is already kind of cool. Has to be level 8 though. So we cannot... Well, we can. We cannot summon Drake Crush. We can bring out Build Dragon. We can bring out Gantry Dragon. So that's already kind of good, right? We just like shuffle some cards back into our deck, special summon a body from the graveyard. Maybe it's a bit too good. Then if we special summon exactly Build Dragon by this effect, we can add a 1-time monster 0 defense from our graveyard to our hand. So this has primarily, in the past, been used for specifically like maximum pieces. And that's one of the reasons I think it might not come out. Full power, Phantasm Spiral in Rush. Activate field spell, make token, search for trap. Not quite, not quite. Another card we probably won't get is Traylon, because again, this is very maximum focused, but I thought we would mention it. It's basically get lots of maximum pieces from your graveyard to your hand. It's pretty good. It's probably not going to come out. Then there's Silver Mountain of Blistopia. So this, I think, has an okay chance of getting out, just because we're hitting the fusions, right? We're getting to the worm fusions. If we do get hand tooling, this card does mention Silver Mountain, which means we'd have to get Silver Mountain, right? But if we do get this card, it's okay. Activate this card if your opponent has a face at level 7 or higher monster. While this card is face up in the field zone, if a player would tribute summon a level 7 or higher worm in attack position, they require only 1 tribute. So it discounts your worm bosses. I'm not the biggest fan of this card, if I'm honest, but it will have to come out eventually, so why not? Then there's Constructor Art Build Struction. Again, this is a weird one. This basically works with Drake Crush. And I don't know if we'd get it because it's Drake Crush support. And chances are the next product we get is going to be either a mini box or a super mini, right? Those don't have a ton of slots. So I don't know if we're going to get like a ridiculous amount of worm cards. And that makes me a little bit sad, but like this is still pretty good. All face at level 7 or higher worm type normal monsters, so only normals. On your field gain 600 attack. Then you can make all face at monsters with 3000 or more attack on your opponent's field lose 1200. It's okay. Then we get into all the trap cards. Again, it's very difficult with traps. It's very difficult with traps to know which traps Konami would actually give us. Because Konami don't like trap cards. They hate them. They hate the pink cards. Buried Shield is okay. When your opponent normal summons a monster, place a field spell from your graveyard at the bottom of your deck. So it's only normal summon. And we have to have a field spell in graveyard. Change that monster to face down defense. So that's okay, because you could use this on a fusion material, and then they can't fuse with it, because in Rush, to use the fusion spell card, it needs to be 2 face-up monsters. Then you can make 1 face-up worm-type monster on your field, gain 500 attack defense to the end of this turn. Seeing the skills, it's probably a mini. Too many cards to be a super mini. It depends though, right? Like, it still could be a super mini. I would almost expect a few more skills. Saying that. It depends how many Dark Galaxy cards they give us, I guess. But Buried Shield is like, fine. It's not particularly great. Maybe they'd give it to us because it's not that great. Constructor Ambush is a pretty big combat trick. When an opponent's monster declares an attack targeting your face-up worm-type monster in your field, send 1 level 6 or lower worm-type monster from your hand to the graveyard. So 6 is going to be Big Roller, which is going to be, what, like 1800 attack? The attacking monster loses attack equal to the attack of the monster sent to the graveyard to meet this requirement until the end of this turn. So, on average, it's probably going to be 1500, because it's level 6 or lower worm, and we're going to be playing like 1500 worms. So, we'll send those to the graveyard. 1500 combat trick. That's a pretty big combat trick. This means we probably won't get this card, because Konami don't like good combat tricks. I'll be going, Mr. Tomato, have fun. See you, I can't kill anyone. Hope you have a lovely day. But Constructor Ambush, I really want this card, and I really want more good trap cards in general. But, it really feels like Konami just doesn't like giving them to us. I think that's kind of the issue that we're running into, is a lot of the problems that a lot of people are having with the meta right now is down to us just not having good trap cards. And if this is, again, going to be like a super mini, how does that really fit into it? I would say the Roman skills kind of give it away. It spoils at least 4 fusions. So it doesn't mean we're going to get all of them, though. It could just be future-proofing. We'll get to that in a minute. We'll finish up the worms quick. Constructor Blockade. When an opponent normal summons a level 7 or higher monster, so again, has to be normal summoned, we can send a face-up worm-type monster from your field to the graveyard. Choose a face-up monster in your opponent's field. This turn, that your opponent cannot attack with monsters with the same type as that monster. This is okay. It's a little bit awkward, but it can be good. It's at least 2 fusions. I mean, it's at least 1 fusion, and it could be future-proofing. Like, we don't actually know. All we can do is speculate, right? Because, like, they could give us 1 fusion now, and then just put the other fusion in another box later, but have future-proofed the skill ready for the next fusion. So, like, we can never be 100%. We can be, like, 99% sure. We could totally be 99% sure. And I personally think there will be 2 fusions. I don't think they're going to give us... Well, at least there'll be the 2 main ones. I don't think we're going to get both the Prima fusions immediately. I think they'll give us one of the Prima fusions and the Candy fusion. But we will get there. We will get there. Then we have Demolition Barricade. When an opponent's level 8 or lower monster declares an attack where you have a face at level 7 or higher 1 top monster in your field, negate the attack. This turn, your opponent cannot attack with level 7 or lower monsters. This is also quite good. This is future support, but this is actually a bit more playable than the other traps. And again, we don't expect any traps because Konami hate trap cards. Then there's Constructor Resurrection, which again I don't think is going to come out when your level 7 or higher worm-type monster is destroyed by battle. Special summon a level 7 or higher worm monster from your graveyard. There are so many traps like this. We don't have any of them. We're probably still not going to get this one. So, with that out of the way, what do we think about the Asana skill? I think Asana skill could be potentially good. It will depend on the cards we get. We're not expecting to get any of the trap cards. I think, realistically, Build Dream is going to be good. Again, it might struggle into maximum decks. Other than that, like, pretty unconditionally getting to pop 2 things before you even go to battle is pretty good. Now, again, you could make the argument, oh, well, then it's just... You know, it's just Kime Luna. And it kind of is. With the difference being that you can gain more advantage, I suppose, by using the Build Dragon to, like, give you a 3+1. If we get Gantry as well, that could be really, really good. Worm in the same place with Yami Ruler. I mean, kind of. Like, Yami Ruler has arguably better ways to play around, like, the Matarian, because you only have to leave 1 monster face up. Whereas with the worms, you can pop 2 monsters. Which means if you want to get to your opponent's life points and your opponent's just setting 3, you have to have at least 2 monsters face up because you can pop 2 of them, attack 1, and then you need another monster to be able to attack directly. So it's a bit awkward. I wonder about Fusion Worm's consistency. I don't think it'll be too bad. The only really bad part of this, in my opinion, is this bit, where we have to send a card from our hand to the graveyard to use this second part of this. If this didn't send a card from my hand to the graveyard, I would be like, oh, this is just amazing. Because Build Dragon gives you a +1 anyway. But I think they've done this because Build Dragon gives you a +1. So this is going to feel about as consistent as, like, Dragon Fusion deck, probably. Something around there. Or maybe it won't even be that good, because the Dragon Fusion deck can add 2 cards. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait until we get our hands on it. I have more faith in the Asana skill than I do in Dark Galaxy right now. Let's put it that way. The Worm level 4s are better than Yami's, though, so that's something. The problem that Worms have is a lot of their cards have very low defense. And in a meta with Light Galaxy, that is painful. That is actually super painful. So that's always going to be the restricting factor for me in this deck. We'll have to see what actually performs. And now we'll go over to Udius skill. This skill can be used if all of the monsters in your constructed deck are Light Galaxy monsters, and the only level 7 or higher monsters in your constructed deck are normal monsters. We can only special summon level 7 monsters once per turn. So this is an interesting line. Why would we only want to special, or why would we put the restriction that we can only special summon level 7s once per turn? Because we don't have any way to search Secret Order. So what we don't want with this deck, I guess, is us using Secret Order and special summoning something else. So the effect, send one level 6 or higher normal monster from your deck to the graveyard. Okay, so we can dump, I don't know, we can dump Galactica Oblivion, for example. Then you can make one face-up level 6 or higher normal monster and or one level 6 effect monster on your field, gain 600 attack until the end of this turn. The Amnesia skill. So yeah, that's kind of where I was leaning with it as well. So I guess we'll go through and take a look. So these are all of our level 6 effect monsters that are Light Galaxy. These are all of them. So it's Fermi. We're not using this for Fermi. Fermi's whatever, right? Like, yeah, we can give it a little boost. Who cares? Then there's Aura Riser. So level 6, 1700. Send a spell trap from our hand to the graveyard. Gain attack equal to the number of spell traps on your opponent's field times 500. So, you know, let's say your opponent's got 2. We ditch a spell trap. He goes up to 27. We can use the skill. He gains an extra 6. Goes up to 33. Like, it's whatever. I think having to send a spell trap makes this bad more than anything. As well as, you know, when you're not doing exactly that, it's just a really horribly statted monster. And it's level 6, so it's going to be brooky. It's whatever. Then there is Direct Dive Dragon. So we can place a normal monster from our graveyard on the bottom of our deck. This card loses 500 attack, so we're going down to 1200, but it can attack directly. So we could give this an extra 600 and get it back up to 18 and direct attack for 18. Yeah, sure. I mean, if it's not at least 2000, that's like a 4-turn clock, but like if we could maybe have a 3-turn clock, maybe. Realistically, it's not very good. Then we have Galactica Amnesia, as Ursus said. We can place one card from our hand on the bottom of the deck, special summon 2 level 6 or lower Galaxy-type normal monsters from your graveyard face up to your field. This turn you can only attack a Galaxy. So we would summon this, use its effect, bring back 2 other level 6s, which would be 21s, and then we could boost 2 of them, because we could boost a 1 level 6 or higher normal monster. So it would be, for example, our level 6 21, so that goes up to 27. And then we'd also boost Amnesia, which would bump it to 22. So you would use this skill and make a 27 and a 22. That seems bad. Then the other one is Galactica Tabula Rasa. So 1500 attack, obviously quite bad. Send 1 spell card from your hand to the graveyard. Return 1 card from your opponent's spell and trap cards empty in his hand. Okay, this... So we've basically got a built-in Genie's Fire Breath. That's basically what this does, right? Then you can make 1 face-up level 7 or lower monster 2400 or more attack. So that's quite specific. Level 7 or lower, 2500 or more attack. So like Dragius statted guys, right? On your opponent's field, lose 2500 attack. So, I don't know. I don't think any of these are particularly good. And then the last one, this is the final card, right? The only other level 6 Light Galaxy effect monster. 1600 attack, shuffle 4 Light Galaxy effect monsters from your graveyard into the deck, draw a card. Still not very good. I mean, the effect is good, but it's on a level 6 body, which makes it bad. And its attack stat is bad. So, I don't know. I'm not really sure what we're expected to do with this. Realistically, I think it's kind of bad. I genuinely cannot think of a way that you would want to use this that would outperform, for example, just the Secret Order like Galaxy deck. Like, is there anything? I can't think of anything. I think it's just bad. And I suppose that will move us on to probably the most interesting skill, the Roman skill. I know a lot of people have been very excited for this one. A lot of people are very big Psychic fans, and the Roman skill looks like it's not going to disappoint. So this skill can be used if all of the monsters in your constructed deck are Psychics. So it's a little bit restricted. Requirement from turn 2 onwards, multi-choice effect. Send a light or dark. Now this is already quite important because this means this skill will not work with the future psychic support. When we say that, we mean specifically the wind psychic stuff. As we go into Go Rush and we get more characters, we will eventually get Rovian. Rovian plays a wind psychic deck. This skill is deliberately not supposed to work with those cards. And then it only works with monsters that have 100, 400, 1500, or 2200 attack from your deck to the graveyard. So this is already quite an interesting one, right? So if we go and take a look. In terms of cards that have 100 attack that are light or dark in the entire archetype of Psychic, or entire type of Psychic, I suppose, there is only Candy. So if we're searching, or if we're ditching, we're milling, sending to graveyard from deck, a Psychic monster that's got 100 attack, it's Candy. If we're doing a 400 attack monster, it could be Speedy Performer. This is a dark, so it's light or dark, and it's got 400 attack. Probably not. Most likely we're going to be sending Amalilith. So, you know, this is part of the fusions for the Psychics, so this would make sense to send to the graveyard. Then, there's Peaceholder as our 1500, and there's the other 1500, which is going to be the Silent Assailant. There's not too much to really say about these. They're the only 1500 that Psychic gets, so sure. And then for 22, it is literally just Prima. So basically, you're limited to sending Prima, Silent Assailant, Peaceholder, Amalilith, Speedy Performer, or Candy. So there's only 7 cards we can actually send to the graveyard. Was that even 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are only 6 cards we can send to the graveyard using this skill. On top of the fact, we don't gain any plussing from this. We're just putting them in the graveyard for now. Send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. Then add a Psychic Upper, an Ice Pot Bear, or Fusion from your deck or graveyard to your hand, each card once per duel. So this is awkward. This is a little bit awkward. We're definitely getting Rovian when equips get introduced. Yeah, almost certainly we'll be getting Rovian as a playable character. I can't see a world in which we don't. But this is awkward because we have to send a card from our hand to the graveyard. So the reason Psychic saw so much success was a joint effort between like Jamp Check being overpowered, Can Melody being overpowered, as well as the skill giving you like loads of free plussing. This skill does not plus us whatsoever. This skill is almost a little bit too fair. And I think that's because Konami know that if we let Psychic kind of off the chain, it's going to go nuts, right? So this almost feels a little bit underwhelming to me. We can send a card from our hand to the graveyard and then replace it with a Psychic Upper, which is okay. I guess we'll just... do we have it up here? I don't think we do. No, we don't have it up there. All right, well, let's get the Psychic Upper up quick. So, level 6, 1800. That is awful. This is actually an awful statted card. During your main phase that you normal or special summon this card, you can send top card to the graveyard, lose 800 attack, then you can gain 800 life points. So this is actually not a bad effect, just because most of the time, almost always, the only reason we'd be summoning this is to fuse it off. So we're not summoning it out and then going to leave it on the field with 1000 attack. We should be summoning it out, gaining the 800, and then fusing it off. So that's kind of fine. Then there's Ice Pot Bear. And Ice Pot Bear is kind of good. During the turn that we normal summon this card, we can special summon a Candy or Amalilith from our graveyard face up to our field. So that's a free +1. That's pretty good. Just a +1. Even if we don't want to fuse, just getting a free +1 is nice. We just use it to tribute and get guys out. This turn you can only attack with a Mega Psychic and Psychic monsters. That's fine. So, the last card we can grab with it is Fusion. Now, the reason this is a bit crap is because we can get it from deck or graveyard, but we can only do it once per duel. So, we don't probably want to be playing just one Fusion. This is going to be a lot similar to the Cyber Dragon skill, where you're probably going to have to play at least 2 copies of Fusion, because you don't want to, like, run out. Realistically, you're going to be doing a lot of fusing in this deck, so you kind of want to have a constant access to your Fusion. Star Restart will put in work. Yes, that is one other good thing. We know we have Candy, which is a normal monster. We have Amalilith, which is a normal monster. We also send 1500 Vanillas to the graveyard, which are normal monsters. Right? There's a lot of cards we can get back after dumping them in the graveyard that we can then use Star Restart to get back. The downside is, what room are we going to have for spell traps in this deck? Right? Let's say we've got, I don't know, let's say we're only playing 2 Fusion. we're going to have, what, 2 Jamp checks, because it's limit 2. Then we're going to have a Legend spell. And then what? Legend Trap. I guess that's the only, like, mandatory card inclusions. But then it's like, well, are we not going to play, like, Jamp Up? Are we not going to play Jamp Start? Like, it's awkward. Because there's a lot of very good Psychic cards that we just wouldn't use. Now, you can make the argument we don't need Jamp Start. Jamp Start has additional value in the current Psychic deck because of the skill. And just finding Candy gives you this extra value because you can use it to search an extra card from the deck. So, that's at least something. Jamp Up as well, we probably don't need. Realistically, we play Jamp Up because we can search it. Not really for any other reason. Like, it's still a good card. And, getting the extra boost is still nice, but we're going to be making these big fusion guys. We're not going to have room for all of this, like, little stuff, right? So, let's talk about some of the fusions. The first one we're going to talk about is Candy All. Now, this is a low-level fusion made using Candy and Ice Pop Bear, so 2 very, very small monsters. It's only a level 4 fusion. So this would probably be like a rare, or something maybe a super, if we're being generous. But, if we summon Ice Pop Bear, it can just get back Candy for free. So we just drop a fusion, we can then make Candy All. Its effect is that we can special summon a level 6 or lower Psychic monster from your graveyard face up to your field. So we could use this to bring back Bear, we could use this to bring back Candy, we already know they're going to be in the graveyard. So in terms of Bear specifically, he only gets his effect during the turn he's normal summoned. And this summons it to the field. So, we can't use, like, Bear fuse into All, bring back Bear, use Bear again. But we can, for example, use it to bring back Psychic Upper, because this is a level 6. So maybe there's, like, something there we can do with that. Bear. Could be worse. I mean, it definitely could be worse. This is just nice. It's just nice to have the option to go into this. It's, we'd basically be... It's a -2 to get this out, and then it special summons a guy, so it's only a -1 if you think about it like that. So, like, in some situations, it could be pretty good to make. Then there's the Amma Bear Lilith, made using Amma Lilith and Ice Pop Bear. Requirement none. Return 1 monster from your opponent's field to the owner's hand. That is pretty good, because if we use this on a fusion, it's just gone. It just kills fusions. So this would be lovely to get, right? Then your opponent can special summon 1 monster from their hand to their field face up in attack position. So they do get to cheat something out, but a lot of the time you end your turn without any cards in hand. And since this is then a you can, this isn't required, right? We can just get rid of their guy and then they don't summon a monster if they don't have any to summon, right? So Amma Bear Lilith is okay. Good versus maximum, maybe? It can be. The downside is that the whole maximum goes back in their hand, so they will just summon it again. So if you can kill them that turn, great. If you can't kill them that turn, you're going to get maximumed again next turn, right? So, like, it depends. It kind of depends. But this is still pretty cool. I would love to get this card. Then we get onto our Omega Psychic fusions, and we'll start with Omega Katana, the Shining Megastar. So, if I recall correctly, this was not Roman's. So there are 2 Prima Katana duelists. There's Roman, and there is Miss G or something. There's like Roman's mentor / like idol figure. And I believe this was not Roman's boss monster. Okay, what if you spin maximum monsters? Wait, you can spin fusion with it. Yeah. You can just spin them. That's fine. If you spin any time a maximum leaves the field while it's in maximum mode, all of the maximum pieces go to the same place. That is the default rule. The maximum summon next turn. All right, so let's talk about Omega Katana, because this is my favorite of the 2. But this, I think, is the least likely one to come out because this is not Roman's boss. So made using Prima and Amma Lilith. Send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. Gains attack equal to the number of monsters on your opponent's field times 1,000. So if your opponent's got 3 monsters, we gain 3,000 attack. Now the downside here, the kind of pain in the ass, is it only has 2,900 attack. And if your opponent is a maximum, we only go up to 39. Which means if they have a 4k attack maximum like a Nigdrago, we can't out it. That kind of sucks. But this turn, this card cannot be destroyed by trap card effects. Again, right now, this is only Widespread Ruin. Or just pop a back row. And popping back row is kind of nice. Now, you could make the argument this is just worse than Ashura Star, because Ashura Star has 100 less attack, and its effects arguably are just this, but better. And this is harder to get out. And you'd probably be right, this is kind of just worse Ashura Star in a lot of ways, but, you know, it's slightly different. So the other one, this one I believe is Roman's boss monster. So this is Princess Omega, the Shining Megastar. I don't like this one as much. So we can change the battle positions of all monsters on your field. So, you know, this is a bit awkward. If we want to have this in attack mode, for example, we have to then special summon it in defense and then use the effect change to attack mode. Then you can make one face-up monster on your opponent's field lose attack equal to the number of monsters on your field times 800. So if we have 3 monsters, we can reduce a monster's attack by 2400. That's not bad. Or shuffle 7 cards from your opponent's graveyard into the deck. This isn't a terrible effect, but I just don't think it's as good as this guy. I think Shining Megastar is just so much better. I was hoping it shuffle only one part, not all 3. Nah, it always puts them to the same place. But yeah, this, I think we're more likely to get this one. That just makes more sense to me. Now, we could just get both, right? We obviously could get both. I think we're probably going to get Shining Megastar or Princess Omega. And then we'll get Omega Katana later. That's what I think. Imagine we get all of these fusions. I mean, the box is not going to be that big, right? But there's obviously a chance. Then the other one... Oh, there's Psychic Upper. We did have them. We did have her. The other one is Candy Life. And this is Candy plus Psychic Upper. So again, the skill is allowing us to search Psychic Upper, which means there is a good chance we are going to get Candy Life. Candy Life was Roman's original boss monster, like her original fusion boss monster, before she kind of gets the Princess Omega. So what does this do? Your opponent has a monster on their field. We can either take 2000 damage, right? That's kind of scary. Then you make all face-up monsters on your opponent's field lose 3000 attack until the end of this turn. So this is going to be a hard punish to your opponent summoning 3 monsters in attack position. Or gain 1000 life points, then special summon a level 7 or higher psychic type monster from your graveyard face up to your field. So notably, we will not have our graveyard set up for this. So we can't summon Omega Psychics, and we do not use a level 7 to make this. So we just have to have another level 7 in the graveyard, gain 1000, and, you know, we don't even have to have the level 7 to gain 1000, but we want to, right? Yo, Tomato going for the full Starlight this Rush KC Cup. I realistically, I can't. I cannot. I am too busy to realistically spend 3 days grinding KC Cup. I will play it a bit, and I will enjoy what I play of it. I am not going to be pushing for, like, any particular thing at all. We're going to be playing it very casually. But we'll give an exclamation mark Icy for the Icy Gamer. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, Candy Life, very, very strong. Like, it's also, it's quite nice to get out, right? It's a normal monster and a level 6. Like, a low level and a level 6. So it's easier to get out than a lot of the other boss monsters as well. Makes sense. But yeah, congratulations on making top 100, Icy. Like, that is actually huge, bro. Icy, what are you making full Starlight? How far did I get in speed? We literally just, like, made... Like, we didn't, like, push for it. We barely played at all. We were playing for the gems, basically, in speed. So we just got all the gems we wanted, and then we just pieced out. We didn't really care about stage 2 whatsoever. Might try Phoenix. What Phoenix? Phoenix. What, Phoenix? No. Who are we talking about with Phoenix in speed? Let's get rid of that. We can talk about the ants in a minute. Wait, like Nightmare Phoenix? So this is one other thing I don't like. Oh, you got max? So I didn't actually get max. We got close to max, and I was like, I can't be asked to go for the push. So like, I think we got to like 19, and then I was like, nah, I'm done. I have no interest in pushing past this. So this is my pet peeve, right? This is my own pet peeve. I don't like it. I think it is a waste when people use Chronicles on generic cards they're going to use in every deck. Because the logic is, if I play this card in every deck, I'll get more value out of it. But making, like, so for example, in Rush, making, like, Fusion a Chronicle, it just looks boring. Like, in my opinion, the way to, like, win on style points is to make your sick boss monsters be your Chronicles. I think that is what makes them look absolutely insane. I think using them on, like, generic staples, like Nightmare Phoenix, or, you know, like, I don't know, Droplet, if you're going to play that in multiple decks, like hand traps. I think that's boring, personally. I'm not a fan. I am not a big fan. I want like Candy Live, like slap Chronicle on that. Like, how sick would that look with Chronicle? You know? But that is basically us talked about the Roman skill. So I think there's a good chance that we get Megastar, and I think there's a good chance we get Candy Live. They're the ones I expect to get. All of my innovators are chronicled for that reason. Exactly. I made my Hane on there. Both Golden Chronicle. Sucks I couldn't get top 100. I'm sure you did well though, Shui, right? I'm sure you gave it a ruddy good go. But like, unfortunately, it's just one of those things where like, sometimes it's just not feasible to get top 100, right? Sometimes you're just busy, other shit comes up, or, you know, your deck is particularly bad in this meta, maybe you don't play all the decks in the meta. There's just so many reasons why you could not top 100. Like, mad respect to the people that do get top 100 though. Like, I don't take that away from anyone. It's just, I think there are some people that take it too far. There are some people that will be like, oh, you didn't make top 100? That means you're garbage. And it's like, no. That's not what that means at all. Yeah, I'm just scared of using it on something and then it going out in the meta and never really get to use it. Yeah, I mean, that is fair enough. That is fair enough. I just think it's really cool to have your boss monster be chronicled. I think it looks sick. Keep it forever. I just use it on my favorite archetype and deal with it. So that's the base dancer badge. That's the absolutely base dancer. But yeah, Roman skill. Excited for it. These don't matter. So then it's just the leak cards, guys. It's just the leak cards. That's all we have left. We have Ants running about. We have United Ants. And we have Ant Rebellion of the Rebellion. I mean, I made top 400, so I'm not as garbage. I just had bad RNG. RIP. But we have Ant Rebellion, right? Pay 100 life points. All attack position insect monsters with 100 or less attack on your field gain attack equal to the number of monsters on your field times 800. Which means if we have 3 monsters on the field, we will gain a whopping 2400 attack. So Ant Rebellion of the Rebellion itself will hit 25. 25 isn't a good number. I'm sorry, it's just not. Thank you for following Iron Pilo. Welcome, welcome. So are Psychics back? I mean, we don't know if they'll be good, but like they're getting new cards. I was 8k, really had no motivation to grind. I mean, that's fair enough as well. What is your deck? So my speed deck, if we're talking about speed, is Fluffles. That is my primary deck. Just you wait, you will get clapped by the Rebellions. It's one of those meme decks. It will sometimes be able to win games. It's still not great, right? Realistically, in the best case scenario, you make 3 2500s, and then what? Like, you can't even beat, like, a Matarian boss monster. You can't even beat a Matarian boss monster in defense mode. My speed is Sue Ships. It's just barely good enough. I mean, Sue Ships is a great deck, right? You can do quite a lot with the overlay skill. Because you can do, like, you can do Dweller. You can do the Chronomaly. It's called Vermana. You can do, was it Rhapsody? There's quite a lot you can do with that deck, realistically. The Ants are rebelling for TCG Rush. I mean, nothing would make me happier than us actually getting English TCG Rush. I just don't really see how we would do it at this point. Like, we're so far behind. Realistically, we'd want to catch up, so we'd have to release things at an accelerated schedule. Then there's the issue of the metas were kind of shitty, so it's like, do they start like doing Battle City boxes for Rush? And then that feels a bit weird, because then it feels like it's not a real format, because we're not getting like proper booster boxes. So it's awkward. It's very, very awkward. I don't see this insect being playable at all. I mean, it's probably not. It's a meme. It's going to be a meme. It was kind of a meme in the OCG as well. If you have 3 Ant Rebellions, that's 7,200 attack on all 3. Okay, but like, how are we getting 3 Ant Rebellions out? Like, maybe we can get 2. And then that at least gives you 4,800 attack to your whole board. But I don't see how we're getting the 3rd one out. And then obviously without their trap card, what does it do? So this is the whole payoff for the Rebellions, right? The Ants. When your opponent's monster declares an attack where you have 3 face-up insect-type monsters with 100 or less attack on your field, destroy all face-up level 8 or lower monsters on your opponent's field. So this is Mirror Force if we have 3 wimpy ants face-up, and it only works on level 8s and lowers. So this doesn't even work in the fusion meta, because most of the time your opponent isn't going to be attacking you with lower than level 9s. So, I don't know. It's a weird one. Even if this card came out, I don't think it suddenly makes the ants good. But we haven't had this card leaked yet, so we can only assume it's not there. It's still broken. Realistically, this card could come out and do nothing. Like, it would beat a couple of rogue decks. There might be a situation where, like, you're playing against, I don't know, Cyber Dragons, and it does a lot against that. But, like, this won't even work against monsters summoned with Secret Order. I don't know. I don't think this is, like, particularly good. I still don't think we're going to get it, right? Because Konami hate trap cards, but I still don't think we're going to get this. So the other thing is, like, when are we next getting a new box? Like, we assume we're going to be getting either a mini or a super mini with Zuijo's release, which should be, what, like 2 weeks? About 2 weeks, give or take? So, like, maybe? Obviously, super minis only have 20 cards in them. I don't know if it will be a super mini. It might just be a mini, which would be better. Obviously, minis have a lot more cards in them. But if we just, like, anything to get us out of this meta, right? Like, I just want a shake-up. Like, Metarian being 51.7% of top 4 results is insane. Light Galaxy being another 27%. Between these decks, that's what? 70... That's basically 80%. This is 80% of the meta, is these 2 decks. Which is just, that's just silly. This is not a format I want to be in anymore. Get me out of this format, please. And then one other little thing I want to do, just briefly touch on, is some of the OCG cards that have been coming out. So this I thought was pretty cool. This was just some of the reference art for some of the brand new cards. I absolutely adore looking at reference art. I think the reference art, especially for Rush, looks so cool. Like, look at this guy. This is a fusion, basically, between Vocalized Phoenix, which is a maximum, and there goes the ads. We'll just wait till the ads are gone before we, like, get super into this. Also, I think I'm going to help myself to some water, you know? But this is a fusion between Vocalized Phoenix, which is the Pyro Aqua Thunder Maximum, and the, God, what's it even called? Chemicalized Salamandra, which is Manaboo's, or I guess he's going to be called Maddox. His boss monsters, like, fused together, and I think this looks sick. This just looks so good. But, like, when you get, like, deeper in, we get, like the cutesy cards, these, like, some of the fairy stuff. And then there's, like, so when you get down to, like, the dice cards, I think that's when, like, the art gets really good. This is some more, like, Thunder support. There we go. I think the dice art looks so good. This reminds me of, like, Pantheon stocking art. I don't know if anyone's ever seen that show, but, like, this just reminds me of that so much. And a lot of the cards have that kind of playful kind of, like, kind of Western animation mixed with, like, anime kind of art style. And I kind of really like that. There's just some more, like, zooming in. Here we have Dice Mite Gayame Double Up Chiori and Dice Key Mix. Which, again, I absolutely adore this artwork. And I love the fact as well that we actually do get to see this artwork as well. Dice Key, Ichika, and Bachika. And I'm looking forward to playing with these cards as well. I haven't actually played with these new dice cards yet, but we'll be playing with them soon. Celebro's Incognito Magician. Once again, just some of these cards just look so damn good. They look so damn good. What yaps have I missed? You've just missed us, Manicus, going over all of the leaks. You've missed all of it. Now we're looking at some concept art. Like Dice Key Lilith. Dice Key, I get it. There we go. And they always, like, they have these, like, wings on their back, which are, like, a folded out dice, which looks so good. But yeah, that was it for the concept art. I actually want to go over just a few of the new cards that came out. So these were some of the latest reveals we got, which is Fall into an Endless Dream with Delirium. So Delirium is a new, like, insect archetype. And these are pretty damn cool. So we're not going to be able to get great looks at these, but, like, this artwork is kind of extra. And obviously it's full art as well. It's Overrush Rare. But it's a level 9 light insect fusion monster. Make Psychic great again. We love women. I mean, who doesn't love women? So attack 3000, defense 2500, so blue eye stats. Materials is just 2 level 7 to 9 insect effect monsters. So this is a modular fusion, which is a big deal in Rush. During the main phase, when this card is fusion summoned, shuffle 3 non-level 9 insect monsters from your graveyard into the deck. This card gains 500 attack until the end of the turn, so hits 35. Then you can choose 1 card on your opponent's field and shuffle it into the deck. That is really good. So it's recycling, it gains a small attack boost, and then it can shuffle any card away. So this isn't like anything like super duper crazy, but considering it's made using any level 7 to 9 insects, that's kind of good. Moth Woman. Exactly. Then we have the Fleeting Delirium Stylevix, which we'll take a look at this one. I mean, not as good looking as the last one in my opinion, but this is made using 1 level 7 to 9 insect and 1 insect effect, so it's a lot easier to make. Same stats though. Face-up insect monsters on your field cannot be destroyed by your opponent's effects. Very good effect. Monsters on your field cannot be used by your opponent as material for a fusion summon. So that probably sounds a bit weird, right? It's like, oh, our opponent can't super poly us. That will come into effect when we take a look at some of the other Delirium cards, because Delirium was the original, like, steal your opponent's monster archetype in Rush. So then we have a new level 8 monster, 2400 attack. This is Delirium Stylevix. You contribute summon this card in attack position by tributing 1 light insect monster. Requirement none. Effect, fusion summon a light insect monster by sending monsters from your field or hand to the graveyard. So we get the stat cheaper, and then we can immediately fuse it off to make this, for example. Which is just so cool. That's so cool. Also stops Prime Dwarf. Exactly. So then we get Delirium Marquita. Level 2 insect effect monster. If there is another light insect monster on your field, you can change this attack position card to defense position, choose 1 face-up monster on your opponent's field, have it lose 500 attack defense to the end of this turn. Then you can choose 1 face-up monster on your opponent's field and have it become insect type until the end of this turn. So this is relevant because there are a few cards that insects have that can, like, take control of an opponent's insect monster, or destroy an opponent's insect monster, or weaken an opponent's insect monster. So this kind of plays into that kind of art, like, playstyle. Then there's Delirium Shul, which is exactly the same stats. If there is another light insect monster on your field, you can change this attack position to defense position, choose 1 monster on your opponent's field and change its battle position. Then you can choose 1 face-up monster on your opponent's field and have it become insect-like monster. So it's very similar. 1 reduces, 1 changes battle position. And then there's Embrace. So fusion summon light insect monster by sending 1 face-up monster on your field and 1 level 9 or lower face-up monster on the field to the graveyard. So we can fuse using our opponent's field because it says the field, not on our field. Hey, as always, I am late. Hello, Corey. Welcome. For the rest of the turn, you cannot attack with monsters except insects. So the strategy here is supposed to be, like, summon out one of these, change it to defense, change our opponent's type. Summon this out, use its effect immediately to fuse it off. Go into this. Use its effect. Well, I guess we don't really have to use its effect, but it just has its continuous effect. We can then drop the Delirium Embrace to fuse off our Stylevix and our opponent's monster into this one. I mean, obviously we could also just do it here as well. That's the other option. But like, there's so many different things we could do with this. And I think it's just a really cool archetype. Like, it's very clear what it's meant to be doing. And I think it's going to be really cool. I think it's going to be really fun. Yeah, we also got the 2 old Delirium already. Yeah, the one which can steal your opponent's monsters is so good as well. Like, it's just so good. So, that's it for the Deliriums. The next thing we want to take a look at... Now, this is where a lot of people are going to be locked in. go full blast with the new Red Eyes support and the new Red Eyes maximum. And this thing is beautiful. Look at this thing. Just look. I know we can't. We're not really missing much. Missing some Japanese text there, I suppose. But this thing looks insane, right? This thing just looks crazy. Like, look at this thing. Look at this thing. It's so bonkers just looking, right? Before we even get to its effects, just look at this thing. They're doing a Pokemon? What do you mean by that, Olivemeister? What do we mean by they're doing a Pokemon? It's Red Eyes. It's a Red Eyes human centipede. Oh god, don't go there. We don't need to go there. Stats on the fusions are a bit weak. I mean, it's okay. It's not too bad. Behold my Red Eyes ultimate dragon. Nuked Red Eyes. Tailhead. Yeah, Tailhead is the best part of the dragon. Like, why not just have your tail be another dragon? Like, why not? Why not? Pretty much love all the new stuff. Red Eyes, Delirium, and also have the Dino stuff. Also, all the Overrush rare looks so good. Yeah, I am actually, because like in our series that we do on YouTube, where me and Dr. Alex play, Alex has the Red Eye stuff. I'm actually so jealous. I want to play this. Look at this. I just want to use this. This looks sick. But again, we can get into their card effects, right? So first off, we're getting a new Overrush rare Red Eyes art, which just looks sick, right? What's not to love about it? But we'll get into the effects. So the left piece, 2400 attack, is level 10 already. So it's a 2 tribute monster to get it out. Continuous effect. This card cannot be destroyed by card effects. If this card is in maximum mode and it destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, burn your opponent for 24. So that's good, but it's not crazy, right? It's not insane. It's fine. It's not like ridiculous. Card databases leak for Dragon Maid. Yeah, I did hear about that. There was like one single card, I think. So we'll have to see what happens there. Alex had Red Eye. Oof, but you know how it goes. He always gets the cool looking archetypes. Yeah, I've always got kind of the... I would make an argument. I think I have a lot of the stronger archetypes, at least like as for right now. But they're not as cool. And I think that's where like it all falls apart a little bit. So then we'll get to the middle piece. 3700 maximum attack, 2400 regular attack. You can maximum summon this guy, doesn't matter. During the turn, this card was normal summoned, or if this card is in maximum mode. So we can use this the first time we tribute this out as a 2400 guy, or just whenever if it's in maximum mode. Choose one face down card on your opponent's field and destroy it. So this is okay. The downside is, for a maximum monster, just popping one face down card, that's a bit weak. Like, for just like tribute summoning this guy out, and then just being a 2400 guy that pops a face down card, that's good. For a maximum monster, I mean, we have like the C-Sub maximums do this but better. Vocalized Phoenix does this but better. I don't know. It's not interesting to me. Now that Red Eyes is getting a max, we know Blue Eyes getting a max because Red Eyes can never be better than Blue. I mean, possibly. We could also see one that's based around the Season 0 Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie, where it's just like the 4 cards put together with like the big shield in the middle with like 3 Blue Eyes going around it. I think that would make a good maximum. And then the last piece, continuous effect. During your opponent's turn, spell traps on your field cannot be returned to the hand, deck, or extra deck. So that's interesting. That's basically like anti-Giant Trunade / anti-Riser, kind of. And then if this card is used as material for a fusion summon, its name is Red Eyes Black Dragon. So that is also very interesting. So I guess this is primarily, or usually going to be, if you want to fuse it from the field as the unmaximum moded card. I don't know. It's very strange. I don't know how good this is going to be as a maximum monster. You're basically going to be relying on just burning your opponent for 2400 X amount of times to win the game. The effect is oddly specific. Yeah, it is. It is very, very oddly specific. It's a little bit disappointing. I actually think this maximum monster might be better if you don't maximum summon it. I think the middle piece is just good. Just get it out. 2400 attack. Pop a back row. Like, even then, though, 2400 attack. The left piece burns for 24, but, like, do you even need that? And then the right piece, I don't know if I like this guy, you know. The more I'm like looking into him. I think this R piece with spell traps returned to extra deck confirms we either get more of the stuff that equips monsters to them as equips, or we'll get a new mechanic. I mean, potentially. Shame it's not anti-compulse. Yeah, if you could protect it from being bounced or like put back in your hand, that would be amazing, right? Because is that too good though? Because it already can't be destroyed by card effects. If you say it can't be bounced, you're now saying you will beat me in combat or you will not beat me. Which is like, I guess that's not the end of the world. Like forcing it to be killed by battle. Especially since the rest of it just seems so meh. And then the last card we have here, Cooling Dark Meteor. Shuffle 2 monsters from your graveyard into the deck. Choose a spell trap on the opponent's field and destroy it. Okay, that's good. That's good so far. Then you can choose 1 Dark or Fire fusion monster in your graveyard, except an effect monster. Okay. Special summon it to your field face up. So, Meteor Black Dragon? Or like Black Skull Dragon? I guess? If we want to get one out early, and then we can use this later on into the game and bring one back, as well as popping our opponent's back row. I guess this is okay. It's just... I want this to be good, and as is, I don't think this is going to be good. I don't think this is going to actually be really strong. I hope I'm wrong, and they might reveal more cards. They might reveal more Red Eyes cards and show us that he's going to get like a really good equip spell, and that equip spell is going to like fill in for all of its weaknesses, but I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. And then the last thing we're going to take a look at, it's best for last, Dynamic Dino Dynamics descends with a duo of debuts. So this is really interesting. This is actually really, really cool. So everyone knows Dynamic Courage Dynamics, right? Everyone knows this card is in Duel Links, right? But this middle piece is exactly the same. This is the same middle piece that we currently have in Duel Links. The side pieces, though, are brand new. So what they've now done is they're saying we are fine with adding brand new side pieces to maximums and making them modular. This is a really, really cool kind of design space to be in. And I'm actually really, really interested in this. So, Yu-Gi-Oh! Maximum DLC pack. That is exactly perfect to describe this. And I think it is incredible. I love the idea behind this. But let's go through, right? So, basically the same stats, doesn't really make much difference. This card's name is Dynamic Dino Dynamics L while in the hand. Okay? So its name is usually Dynamite Dino Dynamics L, right? So that's already pretty cool. This basically is what allows it to be modular. Maximum mode, send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, choose 1 monster on your opponent's field and return it to the hand. Now, if y'all remember, the middle piece for this maximum is literally you can pop 2 monsters on your opponent's field. So usually when it comes to maximums, in fact, we'll bring it up. We'll bring it up, make it a bit easier to see. Usually when it comes to maximums, the middle piece is the bit that says cannot be destroyed by trap cards, right? This middle piece is different. This middle piece has the effect, if your opponent has no face-up level 9 or higher monsters on the field, send 1 monster from your hand to the graveyard, destroy it to 2 monsters on your opponent's field. Now, you might be asking, okay, what if my opponent just summons a level 9? If they have a fusion that's big, or a maximum monster, this doesn't work, so it's terrible, right? But this piece lets us choose 1 monster on opponent's field and return it to the hand. So as long as they don't have 2 fusions, 2 level 9s, we get rid of the card that turns off our middle maximum piece. Then we can use our middle maximum piece to pop 2 more cards. So we get rid of 1 of their cards, we pop 2 more, and then bam, empty field. We can now attack directly with our 3,400 attack maximum monster. So this is what lets us beat set 3, right? Yeah, it can now beat through set 3. Exactly. And then the other effect, this card's name is, Dynamic Dynamics R. Send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. This card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's effects until the end of the opponent's next turn. This is actually kind of big. So to be fair, we have reached a point in Rush where we have a lot of non-destruction effects. We have Riser, we have Compulsory Evacuation Device, we have... there are more. They're just not easy to think of off the top of my head. A lot of them are also like type specific or archetype specific, so there is that. But having destruction prevention is still really good, right? This is not something to be like underestimated. So we can beat set 3 pass now. We can also just like get rid of big annoying things like fusions, just completely get rid of them, which is also really, really nice. And getting that little bit of protection is also quite nice. Is this suddenly going to be top tier? Do we think this on its own is going to make dinosaurs, crazy, winning tournaments left and right? Realistically, no. Will it let them compete? Yes. And I think that's fine. That not every brand new deck has to be tier 0. But just like be able to scrap with the big boys is kind of what we're really looking for here. So we'll take a look at the other new cards. So we have our Hoarding Plantodon, 0 attack, 1400 defense. Place 1 card from your hand on the bottom of your deck. Choose a level 8 or level 10. So that'll be our middle maximum piece or one of our other boss monsters. So for now, in Duel Links, for example, that would be the King Rex. Or a Dyna Body Heat in your graveyard and add it to your hands. This is just it's not even a +1 because we have to give up a card to use it. So this is actually a little bit underwhelming. I would actually rather, especially at the point we are in the OCG, losing a card from our hand to do this is a bit crap. Like, there are so many free pluses in OCG now that, like, why are we balancing dinosaur cards? Like, let the dinosaurs be overpowered. In fact, not even overpowered. Let them be as strong as the other decks that are overpowered. So then we have Jurassic Draw. This is actually a really cool card. This is actually really, really cool. So send a dinosaur monster from your hand to the graveyard, draw 2 cards. For the rest of the turn, you can only attack with dinosaur monsters. That's fine. But having an actual consistency tool for dinosaurs is huge. Dinosaurs have always felt like the ugly stepchild a lot of the time in Rush, even in Speed a lot of the time, to be honest. Like, there's kind of like Dinosaur Pile in Speed, but that's kind of it. Like, obviously, it's like Dinomorphia, but like, I don't know how good that deck's ever really been. So just having a generic consistency tool, I think is really, really cool. Then we get our new dinosaur equip spell, Dyna Body Heat. So equip to a face-up dinosaur monster on your field. The equipped monster cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So this is already a bit weird because our big boss monster, our maximum, already protects itself from being destroyed by card effects. So that's not super critical for the strategy. Also, its attacks pierce. Okay, once again, our big boss monster already deals with the entire enemy board in terms of monsters, so we don't need the piercing. During your opponent's turn, while the equipped monster is face up on your field, the equipped monster cannot be returned to the hand, deck, or extra deck by an effect. That's actually quite good. That last bit is really good. But the rest of this feels like it's meant to be used with the old pieces, right? Because with the old pieces, we get the built-in protection of can't be destroyed by trap cards. We also get the cannot be destroyed in battle by level 7 and lower monsters. And then we suddenly have lost the ability to clear the opponent's entire back row, so the pierce becomes relevant. And we've lost our protection from all card effects, so now that becomes relevant as well. It's a bit weird. It's a bit of a weird card. I'm not really sure this card would see any play outside of, like, maybe you side deck it in case your opponent is playing specifically things like compulsory evacuation device, that sort of thing. So I'm not super fan of Dyna Body Heat, but, you know, it exists. And that brings us to the end of all of our stuff that we want to talk about. That is us done with the yapping portion of the stream. We've done it, guys. We've made it all the way to the end. Let's just have a quick gander and see if any more leaks came out. Oh, would you look at that? More leaks. Card database modifications. So list of cards that Konami have messed with recently. This is purposely vague, does not guarantee they're coming, but as a prediction tool for the next 1 to 2 months. Not on the list, can still come, don't worry, and keep coping, from British Bike Club. So, Duel Academy. I think I've seen this card in passing. I do not recognize this card whatsoever. This card gains these effects based on the type of monsters on the field. Warrior, Beast, or Pyro. Once per turn, if you activate a trap card, you can set one card. You can target one set card your opponent controls and destroy it. Okay. Dinosaur, Sea Serpent, and Thunder. Once per turn, if you activate a spell card, you can inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. Machine Fairy Fiend. Once per turn, if you activate a monster effect, you can target one face-up monster you control, it gains 1000 attack. This seems kind of bad. Just straight up. Then we have Water Channeler. Okay. Interesting. Then we have Seal of Creation. I mean, we knew we were getting this, right? Because it's right here. we knew we're getting that. More Fire Charmer. We already knew we were getting that. And then Nurse Dragon Maid. This is the big one. This is the big one. I'm sure there are a lot of people in chat that are really, really looking forward to Dragon Maids coming to Duel Links. And this could be hinting towards that. So there is a chance we're going to get some Dragon Maids in Duel Links. If this card was normal summoned or special summoned, we can target one level 4 or lower Dragon Maid monster in our graveyard, except Nurse Dragon Maid, and special summon it. At the start of the battle phase, you can return this card to the hand, which is so all the Dragon Maids do. Special summon a level 7 Dragon Maid monster from your hand or graveyard. You can use each fetch it once per turn. So, wait, Dragon Maids was leaked, Nani? Yes, Dragon Maids have been found to be modified in the database. Now, it doesn't, like as it says here, it doesn't mean it's coming out. Like, we still have a ton of cards that have been, like, changed that haven't come out yet, right? Like, we had a bunch of dinosaur cards. We had the Doodle Beasts. Like, there's still loads of stuff that hasn't come out yet. And I see Alex is already very happy about that. Note, Lamia/Reptiles were modified 3 months before release, so be patient with this single Dragon Maid card in the database. But I think that's it. I think that puts us back to we're finished again, right? There's nothing more. We're done. We can now play the game. We're going to play some speed, guys. We don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Here very often, but we're going to play a bit more speed because we're in gold rank, and that's not acceptable. I need to get more wins, and we need more gems, and we need to rank up. So we're going to play some speed. We're going to play some Fluffle Orcust because we need the gems on the main account, because if we are going to be getting a mini box, we need to get that, what was it, 12,000 gems to be able to go through it 3 times. And you know we're not going to get lucky, so we're going to need all 12,000 of those gems. So we're going to get grinding. We're going to play a little bit of speed and see how it goes. So let's see what our opponent's playing. Magician's Magic. Now this should be easier because we're in gold. This should be a lot easier than just playing in the KC Cup. We shouldn't be expecting too much meta. Dragon Maid prob be bad in Duel Links just because the skills are beyond better than them. It depends if they also get a good skill, right? That's what it really is going to come down to. Right, here's the Dimension Conjurer. Eventually, with the hands. This card step from the monster's zone to the graveyard. Draw cards equal to the number of spell monsters you control. And place cards from your hand in the body deck. Okay, that's fine. Our hand is looking kind of nice at the moment. Let's see if we can keep this going or not. Maids only has an Omni Negate, and that's really not really... I mean, an Omni Negate is still good, though. Like, it's not, you know, it's not the be-all, end-all. But, like, it's still not bad. Right, we'll go bear. Grab this. We'll flip this over. Go ahead and activate. We'll send this. Oh, that was the worst possible mill in our entire deck. Okay. So that's going to have to change our strategy quite dramatically. We'll grab this. Normal the dog. Activate dog. Grab sabers. Activate our skill. Send sabers, send chain. Special sheep. Activate sheep. Dog back to hand. Bring out chain. So this gets us like a +1, but we have nothing to search with chain anymore because our fusion's already in the graveyard. So like it doesn't actually do a ton for us. The other option... I mean, we have plenty of bodies to go with. I think we're going to make Phoenix here and just pop a back row. Phoenix comes out. Activate the Phoenix. Discard the bear. Target one of these. Then we'll go ahead and use Harp Horror. Bring out Nightmare. Then we'll go into Galatea. Then we'll go... We're just going to go Nightmare now? I don't need to. I probably should. Alright, we'll go Nightmare, target Galatea. Send Symbol Skeleton. Oh, that was a mistake. That's fine. Which just means we're just going to lose one card. That's fine. We'll go Sabers. Black Dog. Bring this out. Do we even bother going for the negate? We do this. Use that to bring that back. Use that, get rid of that. I think this just works out better. So do this, plus this. Summon out Long. Symbol Skeleton. Bring back Galatea. Go ahead and overlay into Ding. No, wrong one. Shit. Alright, that was a mistake. This is fine. He just won't have it. He just won't have it, guys. That misclick, though. Oh, that is painful. Okay, we just have to now just pray that that back row is nothing. Oh, we threw that so hard. Just don't have anything. Just don't have anything. Okay, we're fine. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Is that a raid we see from MacGyver TTV? Welcome, welcome on in. Hope everyone's having a great time. We have just literally finished going over all of the new Duel Links leaks and going over just all the yapping part of the stream. We've literally just started playing. We've just started actually playing the game. But welcome, welcome on in. Hope you had a great stream. As you now get to watch us flail around and make misplays in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. That's kind of what we do here. Yeah, I have 2 runs through the Go Rush box left, and then the new box coming. So many gems. Yeah, it's a bit nutty. It is a bit nutty. Hello, Darth Victor. Welcome, welcome on in. This is not leaks. These are skills, Tomato. I mean, we've just finished that bit, Valley. We just literally finished it. Would be nice if Dragon Maid are in a structure. It's been a while since the last speed structure. Yeah, we could do structures for both, I think. I think both speed and rush could really do with some structures. How are you doing anyhow? I'm doing great. You know, we're actually playing the game for once, which is something we don't do often. Quite often, we turn on the stream, we talk for 3 hours, and then we just turn the stream off. So today we're actually playing some Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is quite nice. We are from Brazil. We come to strengthen the Duel Links community. Nice. I mean, I think realistically, the Duel Links community is pretty much carried by the Brazilians, so we're going to chain. We'll send Sabers. How do we want to do this? We always do this. We send World Wand. We draw. Okay, this is fine. We'll go ahead and activate there. So he does. He has something. Ultimate Providence on Bear. Okay. That is fine. If you think that's going to be the choke point, mate, I got something to tell you. Behold, the power of Toy Vendor. Activate Vendor. We'll send Art. Man, I didn't need this. But yeah, sure. The problem is, I now want to do this, which means not getting the double draw. But it does get me automatically Fright Fur Fusion. So I think we just always do it, right? We haven't normal summoned yet, actually. God, how have we not normal summoned already? What the heck? How is this going so well? Okay, we don't need any of that. We don't need another special, so I think we do just go Heart here. We'll bring out Nightmare. If we can click correctly. We will then go into Galatea by using 1, using 2. Summon out Galatea. Use Chain. Chain searches Fusion. We'll normal summon out Wings. We'll go ahead and make Decode, because at this point, why not, right? Come forth, Decode. We'll go ahead and use Nightmare. Target decode. We'll send Simple Skeleton to the graveyard. We'll then go ahead and use... I mean, I guess Skeleton just straight away, right? Bring back Galatea. We'll go and make Ding. Ding effect to send. And that's gonna be the game. Alright. Let's catch up with chat again. Dragon Maid will not be in a structure. Cyclone Valley has decided it will not be in a structure. Thank you for passing down your omnipotence. But yeah, out of curiosity, how come? How come you think it's not going to be in a structure? Is that just a feeling? Just a thought? Hey Tomato, hey Bakura, welcome on in. Has been a while, my friend. You play the game? When do people play the game? Have been feeling lately you barely get to play ever. Basically, yeah. Waifus. I mean, that is a compelling argument. If we've learned anything from Sky Striker, it is that they will try and extract as much money as possible for making you go into 600 different boxes to build a waifu deck. So, we'll see. We'll see. This hand is not the best, but like, we can get there. We can get there with this hand. We'll see what happens. We have a chance with this. Give me more Sky Striker support. I mean, don't you have enough, Badge? The deck is consistently doing quite well. Even now, when it's like, arguably not even like a super relevant meta deck, it's still hanging in there. It's not going anywhere. It's better than nothing in the hand? I mean, true. There are worse hands this deck can produce. Our deck is actually kind of garbage, so just having playable is generally alright. What we really just want is an Orcus card. Ideally not Skeleton. Like, any non-Skeleton Orcus card is what we're kind of hoping for. And when I say I mean a monster, like, Babel doesn't count. Now, Tomato, I can't deal with birds. A tier 1 deck. Give me Hamp! No! What if we just killed the birds? Because then that solves everyone's problem. We can't just give everyone the support that deals with birds. Why don't we just get rid of the birds? That's the alternative option. Alright, Battle Chronicle. I mean, Blue Eyes end boards aren't usually super scary, right? Like, Ultimate Fusion's, like, annoying. Two back row, right, Melody. One Melody now. And we're sending Crackdown. What is the back row that we didn't want to keep hold of Crackdown? Oh, look at that. Look at that. That is a Blue Eyes White Dragon right there. We just forget about the birds. No, we never forget about the birds. I mean, I hope my decks in speed finally get some new support and or skills, but I don't even have enough for everything rush. Sonic would not get it anyways. Oh, so I would not get it anyways. Yeah. 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 That potentially sorts us out. It really depends. Because, like, if he has, like, IDP, we're going to get cooked here either way. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see what actually ends up occurring here. Right, let's go Bear. He's got something. This Bear really needs to resolve, by the way. If this gets stopped... Okay, nothing's getting stopped as of yet, so that's fine. So we'll flip over the vendor. I just woke up. Did I miss the leak yapping? Yes, unfortunately you have missed all of our leak yapping. That has unfortunately already occurred. Did you get your Chronicle? I mean, we didn't really... We didn't play at all in the second stage, so... that's not a bad mill. Okay, now we summon Dog. Let's see what he does here. You doing anything to my dog? Activate Dog. Psychic is back to top. I mean, it will depend what cards they get and if any of them are limited, really. The skill on paper is nothing like crazy, let's put it that way. We'll grab sheep. Special sheep. Successor soul. Okay. Why dog? I mean, I don't think it really makes any difference, but it's just... Oh, so now you got this out. So this was the primaries. You want to be able to interrupt here. Okay. So for now... I mean, you only have one target, so I guess we're going to go ahead and use you now. So I'll go Harp Horror. Could have been better for the skill. What? Not cheap. I mean, sheep would make more sense, because if I had another way to get a Fluffle on the board... Like, dog's done. He's just a 1700 vanilla. Sheep still has an effect. Now I summon my symbol skeleton. Yes. Is it time? No? Okay. Well, let's just keep going until he stops me. He's gonna stop me at some point. Summon Galatea. We know he has shit, what's the card called? The fusion thing. Ultimate Fusion. We know he has Ultimate Fusion. Like, we 100% know this is Ultimate Fusion. Okay. We've made it this far. I mean... At what point do I need to, like, actually be worried about this? I need the card in hand for this. So do we just make this now? Like, get it out? The issue is, I need 2. Okay, let's do this then. We'll go Sabers. I put this back on top. I'm going to bring him out over here. Then I'm going to go Nightmare. Target this. We'll send World Wand. Activate World Wand. Bring this out. Now. Does it target? Does this stupid spell target or not? I think it does, right? Destroy face-up cards your opponent controls. No, it doesn't. Ah, that's annoying. Alright, so with that in mind, how do we want to continue here? If he's just going to destroy, I could just go straight into that. Alright, we'll go for you now. We'll put this back. I think we just always go Babel here, right? Flip this over. I feel like no matter how I do this, it's always kind of a pain. I mean, I want that in the graveyard either way, so I guess we do go for this, using this, and this. This will force it out. Okay. Ultimate Fusion. Okay, so now he loses his pop. So what have you got for me now, buddy? What could he make? There's like nothing that I care about anymore, right? So whatever he makes, I just send it to the graveyard. The downside is I can't deal with everything. And if I can't deal with everything, it doesn't really matter what we do. So there's no reason to get rid of him. So we might as well just get rid of you. Just destroys. Okay, we'll just get rid of this. I think that's the best we got, because I can't beat over 3,000 attacks. There was maybe a better way for this. Let's go Fusion face down. Yeah, he's got Ultimate face down. I think he's waiting for Sabers. I mean, we already used the Sabers. Okay, so he's got the Blue Eyes out again. Uses Battle Chronicle again. We have one protection currently. Adds the Ultimate Fusion to hand. Sends Blue Eyes Ultimate to grave. Activates Ultimate Fusion. Oh boy, I'm going to have to read the Twin Burst, aren't I? Because it does like something stupid, right? Cannot destroy battle, but 2 attacks on monsters. At the end of the damage step, when this card attacked an opponent's monster, but the opponent's monster was not destroyed by the battle, you can banish the opponent's monster. Okay. Unfortunately, there's not a lot we can do about that. We can do this, however. We are going to lose 2 guys here. We're going to lose both of our boys, but we're still alive. Okay, let's see what we draw here. Bear is not bad. We're realistically not doing that. We could summon, make that, put that back, overlay, get rid of that. Okay, that seems pretty good to me. So I think we're just going to normal summon this. I don't think we need to do anything like super crazy here. Then we will just go into Galatea. Activate Nightmare. Target Galatea. No, I don't need to do that right now. To the graveyard. I guess it's just Symbol Skeleton. I'm going to bring this back. Put it here. Then I can activate Galatea. Oh, we actually did this a little bit wrong. Yeah, we have fucked this up really badly. I forgot how that works. Ah, yes, perfect. We'll do this. I mean, we've still cocked this up. Like, we could have just won. I was trying to get really cute with it. Like, we are literally throwing right now. But that's fine. That's fine. We'll give him one free turn. We'll give him a homie turn. We'll give him a homie turn. So what we should have done is just brought back Ding. In my mind, for some reason, I was like, oh, I'll use Galatea to put Ding back into the extra. And then we're good to go. But Ding didn't get banished because we didn't have the ability to protect Ding, so we didn't get to banish him using the Twin Burst. In my mind, he'd used Twin Burst to banish Ding. Which has, like, messed us up a lot here. What do we do if your opponent somehow wins? I mean, move on with my life, I suppose. Alright, we'll go Toy Vendor, send this, Raw. We'll go ahead and use Wings. Banish, Banish. Activate Vendor. Grab Dog. Summon Dog. Dog effect. Grab Bear. Toy Vendor. Activate Toy Vendor. Send Nightmare. Well, unfortunately, we have milled that 2 games back to back, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is. Alright, so this time we will correctly just grab back Ding. Activate Ding. Send this to the bin. Go to battle. Showing. Easy peasy. Through for content. Exactly. Exactly. We're just trying to keep everyone on their toes, guys. That's all it is. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Gold 4? Oh my god. We really shouldn't be losing it. I know our deck is kind of ass at this point, but we really shouldn't be losing in gold. Like, realistically, we should not be. We have reached King of Games, right? We could cog, right? We shouldn't be losing in gold. That's the ideal anyway. Ooh, doesn't this deck make like a ton of negate? Oh, okay, it's archive. It's archive. So this could just be anything. Let's see what MFP has. This is. I mean, I think we always bear first, right? I think we just always open bear. We'll flip over the vendor. We're going to activate the effect. We're just going to immediately send Nightmare. Okay, this is going to be a really bad end board, but we're going to do the best we can with what we've got. We'll go Nightmare. Target Bear. Nightmare's going to send Harp. Activate Harp. Send Skeleton. We're going to go ahead and make Galatea. We'll go ahead and use Galatea. We'll put Nightmare back. We'll grab out Babel. And then all we can do from this point is just make Ding. It's hardly the strongest end board, but sometimes it will get the job done. Come back to me, Harpora. We'll flip this over. And we're just going to pass on this. Right, let's see what our opponent does. The Galaxy monsters don't even look like Galaxy. I mean, they're just different, right? Light Galaxy and Dark Galaxy just look very different. It's like matter versus antimatter. Like, a lot of the Dark Galaxy stuff was all like black holes and shit. That's kind of their thing. That's why like Dark Hole is their like signature card. We're against Goki? Oh, we're just dead. We are just dead. If we'd put this in defense, would we have lived? No, we totally... Does Goki have a piercer? I think we died because we left this in attack mode. It's one of those things though where I feel like there's more decks I would rather leave this in attack against than defense. But no, we are just super dead. We are super dead. They can pierce? Okay. I'm trying to remember what like their piercing card is. Because they have, like, Final Battle or whatever. Or... God, I can't remember what the card's called. But, like, their spell card that isn't rematch. Well, speaking of rematch. Finishing Blow, that's the one. I mean, we are just dead. If we had opened the correct open, I think we still just die here. Although, if we went second, I don't know how this deck stops us from killing them. Like, does it just play a bunch of trap cards, or is it just a going second deck? Maybe we'll get lucky, and he'll just, like, try to pop our ding, and we could just let it die, and then we could survive. Thunder Ogre comes down. Goki, I don't think you do anything go first. So it's like set full pass. But like, do they actually play good traps? Goki, what if I activate Book of Eclipse response? I mean, unfortunately, our deck has no room in it whatsoever for non-engine, so... Bear Hug. What does Bear Hug do again? I'm just weakening it. I need you to kill it. But even then, I don't think it matters, because I think... what's his name? What's the big Goki called? The Link 4. I think that one just is unaffected by card effects. Nope, not you. Not you, Master Ogre. I was thinking of the other one. Nair's finishing move just has it in the hand. And we are just dead. There is nothing we can do here. Does it give piercing? Yeah, it does give piercing. So it wouldn't have mattered either way. No! That's a shame. I think it is a little bit cheese, though. I think if we'd gone second, I don't think his deck does anything. But, at the same time, I don't think our turn 1 end board beats that deck anyway. Even if we had the perfect end board. I mean, maybe. Like, if we had the quick effect summon ding interruption, that probably beats it. But it depends, because if they have the power load ogre, I don't know if he's even in Duel Links, but if he has that, I'd have to like hit the Link 3. But like even then, if I hit his Link 3, he still had like enough of a board where I still think he gets to like do something. Okay, is this going to be gimmick? This hand is... This could be okay. We need one good draw. The problem is we have 2 garnets in this hand. Having double garnet in the open is not really what you're looking for, because it does make playing the game quite difficult. Okay, so we are playing against Gimmick Puppets. So Destroy. So here comes one Gimmick. Do we have anything else other than Magnet? We do. So he also has the Gear Changer. So now we overlay. If I remember, the Gimmick Puppet end board is like annoying, right? I don't remember it being like super good, but I remember it being annoying to play around. It's been so long though since I've played against Gimmick Puppets. Oh, we're just making Sky Prison, okay. No summoning from graveyards. Now, you see, that's quite bad for me. My deck does a lot of that. Wait, we're just firing this effect off? Until the end of your opponent's next turn. Okay. Special summon from graveyards. Okay, we can... I think we can play around this. Let's start with Dog. That's what he does. Dog is step 1. So we can't take any of that. You're also kind of pointless. So I think we have to take Sabers. Just because then we can make a fusion play. It's awkward, but I think it is the correct choice. Because we can't bring back Sabers. No matter what, that's not happening. Sabers is here just so that we can make a fusion. We'll go Toy Vendor. Activate Toy Vendor. Send Harp. Okay, we'll take wings. We didn't need the wings, but we'll take the wings. I need to know that back row is so bad. Alright, banish Harp. Let's grab Nightmare. Canadia, okay. Does this matter? Let's see what he's got. We'll link these off. We'll summon out Brute Enforcer. So it can't be destroyed by card effects, so that's fine. Now we go wings. Alright, why did I do this? That was really stupid. We should not have done that. That was actually really stupid. We had like... I don't think we had game. No, we totally had game, didn't we? Maybe we still do. No, it's not going to be game. Actually, I don't think it made any difference at all then. I mean, it depends what this hits, I suppose. Multiple attacks are going to do anything. I can't destroy with card effects, so it doesn't matter either way. If we don't have access to an Orcus monster, we can't get rid of it. Because I can't pop it with that. I can use that just to get the discard, if I want the discard. We can't use that to put a card on top of the deck, so I guess we will just use Toy Vendor here. I think we're going to send Dog, because if we do hit a Fluffle, we can special Harp and get going. So I think we're going to do this. Oh my god, there we go. Alright. If I can summon this. Then... I don't think it really makes much difference at this stage. We just need any... I could just make this. But we don't have two in the thingy, so I think we are making this either way. We'll go 1, we'll go 2. We'll go Galatea. We can activate Galatea. Put this back. We'll grab Return. Activate Return. Oh, it has to be face up. Oh, I'm stupid. Oh, I'm stupid. I forgot it had to be face up. Oh, that's so dumb. Okay. Don't worry about it. I'm sure he just won't have anything. He just won't have anything. Oh my god, I can't believe I did that. In my mind, I was like, yeah, we use Return. We send our face down Nightmare, but it's not his hand or face up on the field. God, we have been punting games today. Although, what can he do? Like, he has this, and like nothing? Yay, Fluffles! Oh yeah. Tomatoes Mat is from the Euro event that ended recently. Yeah, I don't actually like this. Reading, it wasn't actually about reading. We never even tried to read the card. Alright, we'll use this. We'll give this an attack boost. There you go. We can send this to the graveyard. It doesn't actually change anything, is the primary issue. But now if we get it back into the graveyard, we can do that. We can still make a fusion, do that. We can summon that after the fusion. Would be a good shout. So do I go fusion first? I think I do. Alright, Frightfur fusion. Ultimate Providence? Okay. Had exactly a spell negate as well. Right, we go Toy Vendor. We discard. We'll special out Skelly. We use World Wand. Bring back Nightmare. We'll go Galatea. Normal Bear. There are so many different ways I could just kill this man. Let's make Decode. Oh! Why am I so stupid? I forgot I can't summon from Graveyard. How am I throwing this hard? I was like, oh, it's fine. We'll just use... I am so stupid. Bro! Today is not our day. Today is not our day. Oh, I could have killed this guy 2 turns ago. I mean, to be fair, he's also just got, like, nothing. Yeah, that's fine. I'll let you hit that. Alright, we'll go Symbol Skeleton. Bring this back. We'll go Galatea. We'll put this back into the deck. I really just don't need any of this. Yeah, we'll do this. Dog. Right. We will just click the card that will get rid of his guy. No more pussyfooting. Please just go away. I mean, we just go combat, right? If he has the Kiteroid in the hand, he deserves the win. We've already tried to punt this so many times. Oh, reading, bro. Reading. Reading hard. So many ways to win, just pick the one that loses. That's the tomato way. Exactly. Brain malfunctioning. Brain barely functions at the best today badge, so you gotta remember this. Sphere Karibo incoming. Oh, could you? At least Kiteroid, I'd be like, okay, yeah, whatever. If he dropped Sphere Karibo, bruh. In my defense, I don't play against, like, Sanaphon that much. Like, it doesn't come up. So, like, there's at least that. Alright, let's see. Is this going to be Predaplants? Because I do not think we beat Predaplants. Mind you, why would a Predaplant player be down in gold? Isn't that a bit weird? Okay. Well. We always start assisting. We'll go Bear. Grab Vendor. We go Vendor. Activate Vendor. Send this. Draw a card. That's annoying. That is actually unbelievably annoying because that was the perfect card to get me going here. So we have to send World Wand. We have to use World Wand to bring back Nightmare. This is actually so annoying that I milled exactly Babel. Oh, that is... I mean, there's nothing I could do about it, right? That wasn't a me problem, that was a game problem. Go Galatea. We'll go Harp. Bring out Symbol. I don't think it makes much difference when I do this, so we might as well go Galatea now. Put this back. We have to get the return because Babel's gone. So instead, we're just going to make Decode. Watch us get, like, super polyed anyway. It just doesn't matter. So this end board is, like, okay. But, like, now if we have to use our negate, we don't get the quick effect Ding summon, which is really bad. Like, it's really, really bad. So we just have to hope our opponent just doesn't have anything. I fucking called it. I knew he was going to super poly my shit. I mean, we're just dead, right? I think we're just dead. Bro, the one of super poly just has it in the open. Normal summon 1200 just wins the game. There's nothing I can do about it. And all of this, by the way, is entirely off of the fact we don't have this. If we had Babel, we just bring back Ding here, banish this, or like send it to the graveyard, and we just win. We just win. So he just fuses those two. Makes that. That's still not lethal. How do you still not have lethal? Try to practice. So you must have another Predator Plant card in your hand. You have exact lethal with, bro. I'm not gonna sit here and watch you spin plates for ages, bro. You have lethal. You know what my back row is. That feels bad. That feels like we didn't even lose to Super Poly. We lost to us milling our own Babel. Because if we still had the Babel, we just win. That feels bad. That was just literally like a horrific mill. Just completely cost us the game. Which is sad because we've milled our Fright Fur Fusion twice today already, and now we've milled Babel, which is like so bad. That's just like the most bad luck we can get. They're the only two cards we just never want to mill. It's literally those two. 1 for 1. Sends the Yuki Musume. Press yellow button, I win. I mean... What, are we saying that about Mayakashi? Because that is kind of a Mayakashi thing. They are very much a yellow button deck. The stirring Mayakashi. The problem is I can't be asked to read all of his Mayakashi cards. I know in the past we've been able to beat this deck, but like right now I just don't I don't have the mental capacity to be bothered to read through all of them to work out exactly how to play through it. I'll tell you what, let's just go next. I can't be asked with this. We'll get into a game where I don't have to do quite so much reading. Because at the moment, we've lost the game anyway, so it's not like we're like losing anything. We're kind of at the beginning of the climb. Alright, so this is probably gonna be... I mean, this could be a handful of different things, but this is probably gonna be... What's it even called? Galaxy Eyes? We can maybe make this work. This is a really bad opening hand, though. So we normal. We have to use sabers here. This is like really awkward. No, I think we get rid of Harp here. So now we go into Galatea. Then we go Harp. Harp brings out Nightmare. Yeah, so we go 1, 2, 3, summon out the Deco Talker. Use Nightmare. Nightmare target decode. Send Skeleton. Activate Skeleton. Bring back Galatea. Activate Galatea. Put back Nightmare. Grab Return. Go ahead and activate the Bug Bell. And then we will overlay into Ding. So this isn't our strongest open. Realistically, this is like fine. This is kind of like the bare minimum of what we want to open. Because like, I don't have a normal summon anymore. So if I sent Ding to the grave, we would have the quick effect, but we'd lose the negate. As is, as long as... like, this is more likely to work in our favor. Okay, so skills are giving him a free +2. And then he has to give up 1, so it's only a +1. Activates Galaxy Brave. Reveals Photon Orbital. Special summons it. So if he wants, he can raise his attack to 3k. That's fine. Photon Vanisher. Adds another Galaxy Eyes. Add a Galaxy Eyes, Photon Dragon from your deck to your hand. Overlay into Photon Blast. Special summon a Photon monster from your hand. On the field, your opponent cannot target monsters you control 2,000 or more attack with card effects. Okay, that's sort of relevant. Also, they cannot be destroyed with your opponent's card effects. Okay, that's also sort of relevant to the same card. Quick effect, you can banish one material from this card, target one of your Galaxy Eyes that is banished or in your graveyard and special summon it. Okay, that is a little bit annoying. Make Cypher. So this targets, right? Yeah. So if he tries to use this, we just negate. Armor Photon. Does this not also target? Target one face at card your opponent controls and destroy it. Okay. I mean, do we just... I think we're going to go for the negate. Goodbye. Wait a minute. Has he got protection? Why didn't he get destroyed? Oh, because of this? Can it be destroyed by card effects? Okay, that's important. I guess we're still fine? Ish? I really should have clocked that that wouldn't work, though. The only reason we did that was because of the negate. Because of the negate and destroy. Would it have made any difference? Yes, it would have. I guess we will just do this here. We'll bring this back. And we use his effects. And we're just going to send this. Okay. So not the best in the world, realistically. Because he is just going to be able to bring back... I should have put him there. Give him the extra boost. I don't think it makes any difference, really, but... So as for right now, you don't really do anything. We can get one more body. I need to put him back, which means I need him to get banished. I have no way to actually banish him. Well, I can just put you back. Alright, let's go orchestrate return. Let's just send this to the grave. So he can choose to bring back another guy if he wants, that's fine. Okay, he's just going to bring it back. Probably just so it stops asking him. Okay. We go dog. Dog effect. I think it's always there. We'll go ahead and special sheep. Activate sheep, dog back in hand. Bring out chain. We'll go ahead and use bear. Bear gets vendor. Going for this doesn't really change anything, but like, what else am I doing with these? Chain effect. So this is the issue, is I can't use Fright Fur Fusion. It straight up just doesn't work. Because of what he's got. If I can flip over Toy Vendor. Do I even want to use Toy Vendor here? There's still more Orcus cards I could get. Okay, we'll use Toy Vendor. Send this. See what we get. We'll go ahead and summon dog. Probably didn't need to have it face up, really, but it's whatever. We'll go ahead and use Brute Enforcer here. So he does. We discard this. We target this. So this will force him to send a monster from his hand. Then we can go Nightmare and boost this up. We'll send World Wand. Activate World Wand. Bring back Skeleton. Then we'll go Galatea by using this and this. Then we'll go Symbol Skeleton. Bring back this. And we'll go Ding. Get rid of this. And we'll use this. And this. To make long. Then we'll activate Fright Fur Fusion. Make this, using this and this. Summon out Tiger. Tiger effect. Target that. Tiger effect, target that. And then we just kill. Alright, we got there in the end. Oh, see, that's what I mean. This deck is so much fun and rewarding when you actually, like, get to, like, play through lines like that. We get to, like, play through your opponent's, like, weird board. But, you know, realistically, other better decks would have done what we just did in, like, a minute's time. And a lot better. Which is why our deck is bad, right? That is why our deck is, unfortunately, not very good. But, you know, it is what it is. We like our deck. It might not be the strongest deck in the world, but it's pretty cool. But, that is going to be the end of today's stream. We had an absolutely fantastic time today. We got to play a little bit. We got to yap a little bit. And we will be going ahead and sending on in a raid over to Zeta, who is a world competitor. Everyone should know Zeta. Zeta is way bigger than me. But we will be back again on Thursday. Unfortunately, there will be no Angel Cup, but there might be more Angel Cups in the future. We will have to wait and see. So we'll be back again probably with some more speed. Speed is probably going to be what we're going to be doing. So hopefully I'll see you all then. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Atenção, tem